Come on. Oh, hi. Now that's funny. That is funny. You probably just totally saw me do all that. Oh well, it's all good, right? Hello, friends. Hi. We're almost there. Did you see me do that? Was that hilarious? Did you see me like the phone's all over the place and moving around and all craziness? I think so. That was kind of crazy. That was kind of crazy. All right, all right. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Hello. This is required this morning, although it's a more apropos for this side, the hot mess side. Yeah, you can tell by looking at my phone. All right, let's fix that. You guys will be really happy to know. It needs to come over this side more. Anyhow, just bear with me for a sec. You will be, I think, very happy to know that I have taken steps to fix all of this. So we'll get there. Had a conversation with Vicki about it last night, and then reached out to a friend in the industry this morning. And the hope is that when we're ready to kick off the new year, totally different filming setup, which I think you guys will love. So let's hope. All right, but in the meantime, let's have a sip of coffee, because you want to know how long I've been up. Since 2 a.m. Started at 1 with the cat, then 2 with the cat, and then I was up, and then Jack, our older son, is in town with his fiance for the holidays, and he went to a Friendsgiving last night at our nephew's. So both of our nephews and our younger son Sam live together. He went to Friendsgiving then. Went to Friendsgiving, and we're gonna get this in a sec. We'll just move this over this way. It's backwards and upside down. And anyhow, he came home at 3 a.m. And, then I was just up the whole time on the couch and trying to read. And yeah, so the coffee, the hot mess is definitely relevant today, as is the coffee. It's like a twofer. All right. Also trying to figure out why I'm always looking up like that when I talk to you guys. I don't know why. I'll try looking at it like this. Anyhow, good morning, happy Saturday. If you're new here, welcome. Just, welcome. It's we always have fun. There's always a little craziness in I was going to say the beginning, but the whole time. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lael Kankar. I have a business called Lael by Mail. When I am not traveling, which thank goodness, my big, heavy travel teaching season is over. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it is a lot. And so when we get to the end, it's like, oh goodness. So when I am not traveling, on Saturdays we're here on my YouTube channel doing what I like to call creative listings. So a couple days ahead of time, I publish 3 listing topics or prompts on my blog. They go out in an email, and that is what we do when we get together here. We are making lists, but we're making them creatively in a couple of ways. Number one, we're adding stamps and stickers and die cuts and all different kinds of things. So we are decorating our lists, but really what we're doing is we're telling a story. And as we're doing that, we're telling a story that is most often ours, and probably stories that have never been told before. But they're super easy and approachable because it's list style, right? We can all make a list. We've all made a list, especially this time of year. Maybe you were hosting Thanksgiving at your house and you had a huge grocery list. We are still in November. A lot of times people make lists of the things they're thankful for or grateful for. So that's what we do here, and we have a lot of fun. As I work, I'm playing and we're laughing and joking and chatting, and you guys are connecting in the amazing community that you've built, and we're learning because sometimes Lil makes mistakes, and we all do. So then we talk about, what happened there? How can I fix it? Anyhow, so welcome. Lovely to have you here this morning. It's finally, maybe, here in Utah. We went from about 50 some odd degrees yesterday to, I think, low 30s today. So hopefully we will have snow on the way. It's extremely late for us to not have had snow yet. So wherever you are, I hope you are doing well. If you're watching live, then, even if you're not watching live, you're watching the replay, you are doing something that brings you joy, right? Some people, when we get together, they list with me. Other people are working on a different project, or maybe you're working or cleaning the house or cooking, whatever it is. It's just always fun to have you here. There's a live chat that takes place when we're together, and so in a moment I will divert my eyes over there so I can see who's here and say hello. If you're watching live, I'd love you to pop in the chat and say hello. It's always nice to know that you're here. So let's do that very quickly. Let's just say hi in between sips of coffee. All right, let's look. Hello, Amy. Amy is my right hand. Thank you for being with us again today, Amy. Amy, you can tell if you're watching the live chat, she is highlighted in blue, and she will be helping us all out today. As I am working with different products, she will be popping links to those in the chat. So if you are interested in those, you'll click on that link if you're watching live. It'll take you to that product page on my website. If you are watching the replay, welcome to you. You won't necessarily see those links, but you can see the links to what I'm using in the description box of the video. All right. Let's see, Ashley. Hello, Ashley. Sounds like she had a quiet day yesterday. Today is Saturday. Thursday here in the U.S. was Thanksgiving, so I hope you all had a lovely Thanksgiving. If that is something that you celebrate. If it was a tough day, then you know what, we'll just say we're grateful that it's over, right? Because it's not necessarily a happy day for everyone. So we've got that one under our belts and we're ready to move on. Ashley's looking forward to today and some crafting. I love it. Hello, Cindy with the purple hearts. Laura is here. Oh, you've got your first snow season in Colorado, which is so unusual that we didn't get it, Laura, because, you know, in the map of the United States, I know you know this, maybe not everyone does, but it goes from the coast, California, and then Nevada, and then Utah, and then Colorado. So usually if Colorado gets something, we've had it in Utah. Not this time. Maybe next time. Hi, Ashley. Oh, no, there was Ashley. Okay, Crafty Sleuth, hello. Finally free on Saturday. Looking forward to hanging. I love it that you're here with us. Love it that you're free. That's the thing, too. Saturdays are hard, right? Especially this time of year. All the times are hard. You may have lots of things on your to-do list. So if you can never join me live on a Saturday, there's always the replay, and it's just as fun, right? Ashley's excited to start her December daily. Me too. It's such an exciting time of the year every year. Hello, Pirate Wench. Nice to see you, Debbie. I think that's Debbie, right? Nancy, hello. Amy reminds us, yes, if you're here watching live or the replay, if you would give the video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. That would be so appreciated. Wanda, hello from Tennessee. Abby Hurlick, good morning. Hello, Becky from Montana. Snowy Montana. The snow is all around Utah, except for Utah, one of these days. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy said, hope you're feeling better. I am, absolutely. It's been 2 weeks. It has been 2 weeks. My voice still sounds a little scratchy, and I have dry cough. So every once in a while today, I'll just say, pardon me, and you'll hear a dry cough, and we'll go from there. Hi, Janae. Nice to see you. Heather, nice to see you, Heather. I kind of saw Heather and Carrie, both of you last night. Nick was watching the hockey game, and I watched Vicky on her channel, and she did some amazing mixed media, and then she and I talked for like, oh my gosh, I bet you like an hour and a half after on a FaceTime, yeah. But fun to see you again, Heather and Carrie. Oh, guess what, Carrie? Yeah, sometimes, because she said her cut and color was canceled today as she was on the way. Now you have some free time, so sometimes that's fun. But I know, sometimes you miss that scheduled cut and color. It's like, oh boy, trouble. Hello, Hawthorne Taylor. Oh, yes, I remember. Hawthorne Taylor. You just applied for the creative team, didn't you? Because I think I remember your Hawthorne Taylor, your pen name. Is that right? All right, friends, let's see. Hello, Terry. Nice to see you. I hope Bob's feeling better. We're all thinking about him after his surgery. Colleen. Oh, Colleen. Colleen, I missed you last Saturday. We all missed you last Saturday. I don't remember if you were with us a little bit, but guess what Lael forgot to do? Colleen is always so good, excuse me, about reminding me when I flip my phone to plug in. Guess who forgot to plug in? So after about 4 hours, my phone just died, just stopped. And when it dies, you lose it. The YouTube's just, you don't lose what's been recorded, but there's no way to continue it. So we just kind of abrupt end. So I'm very happy to have you here, Colleen, as always. But I definitely noticed I missed you last time for sure. Hello, Robin, Kathy. Good morning. Kathy said good morning from Colorado. Kathy's having coffee with me. Lovely, lovely. Patricia Harvey, good morning. Karen 2092 from Paris, France. Nice to have you. Karen, we were in Paris in August and did all the touristy things. We were just there for a couple of days on our way to another destination, but lovely city you're in. Hello, Vikaj. And Vikaj, she's from Long Island, and Nick and I are headed to New York in 2 weeks to celebrate his 60th birthday, which is tomorrow. Crazy, crazy. Hello, Wendy. Yes, you finally got snow, Terry. I love that for you guys. Hello, Louisa, Southern California. Rosie. Hello, Laura Lee. Nice to see you, my friend. From Alberta. You know I always love seeing you. You guys know I love seeing all of you, right? You know that. Pam. Hi, Pam. Pam. See, we could just sit here all day and hang out. And some of you would be like, yes, I'm all over it. And then some of you would be like, yeah, and I'm out. But we won't. We'll hang out, but we'll play too. Kathy said she just ordered one of my creative listing books. I love that for you. You'll be very excited. You can't wait to start listing. Let's just talk about that for a quick second. If you are maybe joining us new, or maybe you've been with us for a while, but you've never really started creative listing and you weren't quite sure how to, there is a link in the description box of the video, and I know Amy will link it for us as well. There's a free class here on my YouTube channel about how to get started creative listing. So it just makes it, I give you lots of ideas, and there are actually 2 of those ideas that we will kind of hit on today. So if you are maybe ready to start, not sure where to start, then maybe today is your day. I'm going to challenge you. Let's make today your day. How about that? Hello, Virginia. Happy holidays from Chile, Decatur. You just received the Mint Journal. So beautiful. I love that. All right, friends. We're just about, I think, through our hellos. Hello, Scrapbook Assistant. Nice to see you. Thank you, my sweater. You know, it's another TJ Maxx find. All TJ Maxx finds, mostly. Hi, Carla. Nice to see you, Carla from Arkansas. Oh, I love that. Carrie said she took their dogs to get a picture with Santa. That's so fun. Diane, nice to see you from Cold Drew, Missouri. Kathy had the cold for 2 weeks. Yeah, you guys take care of yourself. If you believe in emergency, start doing the emergency because it is everywhere. So many people are sick, and it's that time of year. So do whatever you can to stay healthy because it's never fun to be sick, but especially during the holidays, right? Let's see. Oh, Karen 2092. So, Karen, can I ask you to do, I think you probably emailed me twice now. No excuses, but apologies. I was just ending all the crazy travel, and then I literally promptly got sick when I got home. So, I know you are looking for that idea sheet, right? I think that's what it is. If you would just reply to that email, that'll pop you right to my top of my inbox, and I will do that for you today when we're done, okay? Apologies for that. Apologies. Let's see. Hello, Christy. Nice to see you. All right. Hi, Tabitha. Do we have a time limit? Yeah, it's going to be about 1. It's going to be about 1 today. So 3 hours. 1 is mountain time. So about 3 hours, Terry, if you want to help me remember that. Our older son, Jack, and his fiance are in town for the holidays. And we are having a little kind of friends get together tonight for Nick's birthday. So lots of things to do in between when I'm done and when everybody comes over. So thank you for the reminder. All right. Okay, friends. I just want to make sure that we don't miss anybody. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. All right. Are we? I just don't want to miss any. I feel bad if I miss somebody. Hello, Joy. Hello, Nick. What are you doing?
Go team go.
Go team go. You want to come in and say hello?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to the store.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, goodbye. Hello, goodbye. You say goodbye and I say hello. Hello.
She's busy. Come on. Who's saying that song?
The Beatles.
What?
No Paul McCartney? Wings? The Beatles? I don't know.
The Beatles suck.
Oh gosh, stop it. Whatever. Those men in my life. I'm the sole, no I'm not, daughter-in-law. Almost daughter-in-law. So I'm no longer the sole woman in our family. All right, hello Joe Disney fan. We'll get going, you guys. Hello Mariana. Sheree, nice to see you. And I think I just made it through everybody. Linda. Okay, friends, let's just talk about a couple of housekeeping items. One really important one, and I know there's so much noise going on right now with Women Led Wednesday. If you didn't know that was a thing, this past Wednesday, Women Led Wednesday, Black Friday, today is Small Business Saturday, Monday, Cyber Monday. So there's all kinds of sales and all kinds of people competing for your attention right now, and I am also, right? I kicked off a big sale on the website on Wednesday night, and it's still going strong. It is going through Monday, December 1st at midnight Pacific time, or 11:59 Pacific time, I guess we should say. Lots of things still to be had. Lots of things have gone, but there's lots of things still to be had. Some of my products are on sale. There are a number of my stamp sets that are on sale because they are retiring. So, but just lots of good things to be had. You can go to lalewaymail.com. There's a big banner at the front where I know Amy will pop that into the chat for us also. Then the thing that follows with that is please be kind and have patience as the team then works to get all of the orders out. Lots of orders come in, then lots of orders have to go out. So those are always filled in the order that they're received. So if you placed your order Wednesday night, your order would ship sooner than, let's say, if you place your order on this coming Monday. But yes, lots of fun things to be had. Thanks for adding that in the chat, Amy. I appreciate that. Joe Disney fan, it does. There is, for every stamp that's retiring, there's actually a little section of retired stamps. And I think Amy can probably pop that link in for us. But if you go to littlebymail.com and just search for retired stamps, you will see all of them. But they are all kind of when you go to shop the sale, and the sale will end on the 1st, so if you're shopping after the 1st, you won't see that sale. But all the stamps that are there that are mine at the beginning, when you open each one of those up, it says it's retiring. So some are already gone, and others there are more of. It's just as we look at transitioning to monthly product releases in 2026, we just can't keep, backfilling all the stamps that have been around for a while. So that's the plan. Let's see. Yes, I love it. Hi, Hawthorne Taylor. Is it Jen? I don't remember. I just remembered the Hawthorne Taylor. Okay, so that's the first thing. The Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The next thing is our listing schedule for the month of December. We are listing every month with the exception of every day with the exception of Saturday, December 13th. That's when Nick and I will be in New York. So, but we're on for the rest of it. And this is one of my favorite times of year to list, just because it's nice and cozy, and we're, listing about different things about the holidays and things like that. So I think with that said, let's go ahead. I will turn off the overhead lights, move the lights, rotate and all that. And like I said, if you missed at the beginning, I am committed to, and you will see in one of my lists, one of the things on my list, what I'm committing to in the month of December is to switching out, kind of upping my game on all the lighting and multiple cameras and all that. It's just time. It's time. So, but for now, we still have to do it the manual way, so let's do that. Let me rotate that. There we go. There we go, friends. Sound is back. Sound is back because when I rotated the camera, accidentally I hit the mute button. And you know what? I didn't even know there was a mute button on the YouTube interface. So I guess maybe that's good to know. Yeah. It's funny. When Vicki and I were chatting FaceTime last night, we were both kind of saying that I guess this is how you know that we're human. We're just like you. We're just like you because the things turn off and turn on and we do it backwards, and that's just the way it is. All right, sound is coming. If you lost the sound, it's good. It's coming. You are probably just maybe a little bit behind everybody else, so we're good. One last big sip of coffee. Okay, so let's take a look at the lists that we did when we were together last Saturday. All right, we did 3 lists when we were together last Saturday. Oh yes, here we go. This was our first list. Today I'm grateful for, or the things that I am thankful or grateful for. This was, I mean, they're all fun. They are all so much fun, but this one was definitely a fun one. We used the Simple Stories Autumn. Oh my gosh, what the heck is that? I don't know. For some reason, I have a really hard time always remembering the name of this one. Simple Vintage Autumn. Oh my gosh, what the heck is it? It should be behind me somewhere. Somebody help me. Simple Vintage Autumn something or other, right? Oh, here it is. Here it is, here it is, here it is. Maybe. Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze. Gosh. Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze. All right, there we go. So this was a 6x8 paper that we cut out of the 6x8 paper pad. I made it smaller. Isn't that beautiful? That is one way if you are not necessarily an watercolor artist or a mixed media artist, you can still work things like that in by just, finding pattern paper that does it for you. So that was a lot of fun. We did a little bit of stamping here. We did kind of a 2-layered approach where I first stamped the word thankful, and then you can see very faintly I stamped a grateful definition right over the top of that. Then over here, used a couple different stamp sets. This was, and both of those, thankful and the today I'm grateful for, were both from the thankful stamp set. And then we used Allison by the numbers for those large numbers. So that was a fun one. Today I'm grateful for, and here's the thing that I always like to remind you, is that this does not have to be a list that you only do during the month of December, right? November. Naturally, people think of this more so in probably November than any other month of the year because of Thanksgiving. And a lot of people do 30 days of gratitude or 30 days of thanks or something like that. But this you could use every month of the year, right? It doesn't have to just be for November. And you could totally just change the way that looks by changing up the product that you use and changing up the ink color, right? So if you wanted to do that in summer, you could use a really pretty bright blue or green and it would look totally different. All right, so that was the first list that we did. Today I'm grateful for. Our second list, this is a list that we do once a month. And I've always called it, well, for the past year and a half, I've called it What a Day. And the whole idea behind What a Day is you pick a day, and I do this once a month, every month. You pick any day in the month, and you basically make a list of what you did that day, all right? And this is kind of a time capsule list because this may not change a lot from month to month, but I guarantee you probably what you're doing in a day changes from year to year or season to season. Lists like this. I always say I wish that I had a list like this when I was in high school or college or when I was a new mom. Or I wish I had a list that my mom had done like this, maybe in the 70s, of what a typical day was like in her life, or my grandmother in the 50s, right? Wouldn't that be cool? So a lot of times when we create a list like this, I'm kind of killing 2 birds with one stone, so to speak. Number one is I am creatively playing, right? Which is something that really drives me. It really feeds my soul. But the other thing I'm doing is I am maybe documenting for future people to come and say, gosh, I'm so glad that my mom did this back in 2025. Or I'm so glad that my grandma did this, right? That would be cool. So this one, I used some stickers from the Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze collection and then used the November month by month stamp set. So that is a stamp set that, or basically a series of stamps that released mid-November, mid this month. And there are 12 of them. And this is the heck just happened? I lost my chat. Hang on. How did I lose my chat, Lael? I need my chat. What in the heck? That is going to become, oh, there we go. Yeah. Anyhow, Month by month. So this is month by month December. I'll be using this one today on one of my lists. But there are 12 of these, obviously, one for each month of the year. And I will be using these in all of 2026 to do my kind of what a day type list. And I'll also be working them in quite a bit throughout, all of my lists. These are available month by month, and they are also available in a bundle. And I've said every time I show these are not going away. So I don't want anybody to panic buy right now to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get these right now because they're going to sell out. I will carry them all through 2026, at least all through 2026, if not further. Okay, so that is what I used in these little guys right here. That one and that guy and that guy and that guy were all from November. And what's really cool about those stamps is that the exact same theme, the exact same artwork carries through from month to month. So that's July. You notice you have your big kind of chunky month. You always have the circle, you always have the tall skinny, you always have this guy, you always have the banner. So that makes it really easy to use stamps like this for something that you want to kind of have the same look and feel. Maybe you're doing a calendar, maybe you're working in your planner, maybe you want to do this type of list every month and you'd like it to look somewhat similar. All right, so the other thing I did with this is another one of those that will totally change its look depending on the color of ink that you use. So in this one, I used all black. But then I went in with a gray colored pencil and colored in those open letters, colored that in, colored that in, colored that in. So you can really add a lot to those stamps by either stamping black and then coloring in with colored pencil, or stamping in color, or doing both, stamping in color and then going in, maybe coloring in with a lighter color. And then our third list was another list. Janae 1976, I do sell gift cards. Yes, if you go to the website and search for gift cards, I think they're in $25 denominations, 50 and 100. Oopsie, I just noticed something here. I lost the back of my, is it that guy? Yes. All right, so this is another list that we do on a monthly basis, and it is called In the News. So this is the one where we cut out about 3/4 of the way through this list. So in the news, where I am basically documenting things that are reported in the news. When we do this list, it is facts only, and you might argue with me what a fact is, but like this is a fact. The U.S. federal government shut down after Congress failed to pass funding legislation. Taylor Swift released the Life of a Showgirl album. Dr. Jane Goodall and Diane Keaton passed away. So facts. It's all very much factual. I do not give opinions. And in the chat, we also do not give opinions, right? So it's just a fun way to document kind of what's happening in our world. We used the October month by month stamp there with that tall little October. And then used the typewriter stamp and die to create a little pocket for some of my photos. All right, so those were our three lists. We are going to start out today with our first list. Our first list is Glimmers. And we first did a Glimmers list. It has been a couple weeks shy of a year ago. All right, so it's been a year since we've been doing Glimmers. One of my dearest friends, actually my best friend, we met in 1986 in college. We were in the same sorority together. And still my best friend. Our husbands are best friends. They were fraternity brothers. So, but we were with them last December on a little trip, and she introduced me to this whole concept of Glimmers. And she's not a crafter. And I love that she shared this with me because this has been one of my favorite lists to do every month. So this is what a glimmer is. And I always pull this out every time we're together. But basically a glimmer is the opposite of a trigger. So instead of something triggering you negatively, like maybe you're driving in traffic and somebody cuts in front of you, that's a trigger. Glimmer would be the opposite. So maybe you're driving in traffic and somebody lets you in. That's just a nice little glimmer, right? So glimmers are those micro moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, the more these tiny moments will begin to appear. It's kind of like gratitude in that same perspective. As you are more noticing things that you're grateful for or thankful for, you tend to start realizing and recognizing more. So that's what a glimmer is. And we have been doing this list every month since last December. After we did our first Glimmers list last December, I came out with the first stamp set, the first Glimmer stamp set, and we did that that came out in January of this year. So my Glimmers list always, most of the time, maybe not always, take on a different look and feel. This is my Glimmers list and it's not done yet. I still have some work to do up here. I guess this is probably October. This would have been the October Glimmers list. Let's see, I'm sure I have, here we go. This was an August Glimmers list. So the look and feel changes, but the content is the same, meaning I am documenting things, very small things that bring me joy. All right, so that's our first list. Now, I have actually already started this list. And I started this list on Tuesday night this week. And I started this list in our December Traveler's Notebook setup class. So for the people that purchased my Fall Holiday Season Pass, it was that class where we were setting up our Traveler's Notebook for the month of December. What happens when a new month starts is that I need to move out of my Traveler's Notebook setup for the prior month. So I always have two set up because one is my sample and then we make another one in class. So I thought it would be really fun for our first list is to show you how I take what I do with the season pass and then how I can use that into one of my listing projects. So this was my Traveler's Notebook setup for this month, for the month of November. And this is using the November portion of the Fall Holiday Season Pass. So I used the products in that kit to decorate my pockets with some 3x4 cards that are in the kit, with some stickers, with some die cuts, and with some stamps. So all those things are from the kit. When I decorate my Traveler's Notebook like this, people always say to me, Lil, what do you do when you're done? What happens when November's over? Do you throw all that away? I mean, what do you do with it? And I say, well, a couple things. Sometimes I will do something like this, where I will make a card. So for the month of October, this was basically cut from one of my slipcovers. I just cut that part out and put it down on a simple card base and turn it into a card. But what I did this month was I basically took all of these pieces out and they're more or less kind of connected together. So if I start to lift, as I started to pull this out, I could kind of pull everything out together. I created a little tip in, all right? So if you look at this and see what I did, it took me about 5 minutes to do because all of this work was already done. When you see those together, you're like, oh my gosh, look, that's exactly what I did. I didn't have to do any extra work. It was kind of reduce, reuse, and recycle, right? This little piece that I had put in as a little decorative side pocket there, that is what I use to kind of adhere those pieces to. And then I use my little tip-in tape to tip that piece in, all right? Tip that piece into the center of my Traveler's Notebook. We will do a tip-in on our second list, so you can kind of see how that works. But that's all I did. So that is kind of a great reminder for us. If we have used product for something else and we're no longer needing that something else because, I've now moved into December, I shouldn't throw those things away. I spent good money and good time in putting all that together, so I should figure out how I could use it for something else. This was one of my slip covers for one of my Traveler's Notebook inserts. And all I did with that was to then cut that up. There's that piece, right? And it just goes now. It is a page. I just adhered it right to a page in my Traveler's Notebook. And then I took the back of that slip cover and backed the backside of that little tip in. All right, so when I say I've already done a bunch of that work, I did, but when I really did that work? I really did that work in August when I put my sample together with that Fall Holiday Season Pass. All right, so that is what I'm starting with. I am going to start my list right over here. Joe Disney fan, have I ever saved receipts from a trip and used in a traveler's notebook or scrapbook layout? I have at least 100 receipts from the Universal Studios trip I took my son in September before he started college. Absolutely, Joe Disney fan. And I still have one suitcase that is not unpacked from my last teaching event, which was middle of November. Because I have basically one way that I did it. I did a pocket. Let's see if I have one of those in here. I did a pocket with the camera. Oh, it was similar to this. I did a pocket with the camera stamp and, my gosh, come on, with the camera stamp and die. So you could do something like that, add your receipts there. You could do something like we just did within the news and add your receipts in there, like a little typewriter like that. Or you could do something like this. This was my about last month for the month of October. I used the new diagonal pocket die to create those pockets. So basically that's what that looked like, right? I used 3 different pieces of pattern paper to create those pockets. And now on one page, right? One page in your traveler's notebook, you have 3 pockets. So you've got lots of room for receipts in there. All right. So that is something that you absolutely, definitely could do. Now, if you have a lot, you might maybe go through them and decide if you want to include all of them or maybe just some of them. But if you have a lot, that might be a great spot to use either your back cover, inside cover of your insert or your front inside cover, because then it wouldn't add bulk to the center. All right. And if you are watching and you've done something like that before, I'd love it if you want to share that in the chat. Would love, love, love that. Heather said she just purchased a die. It's going to give you so much room, right? All right. Ashley said, lay out the receipts and take a photo collage or individual photos. They will eventually fade. Ask me how I know. Especially these days, a lot of receipts are done on a thermal printer. So they're generated, what you can see, the image is generated from heat. And those will definitely fade over time. You could even photocopy them. You could photo them, photocopy them. And that also gives the opportunity to shrink them down. So if you have a really big receipt, you can shrink them down and, have smaller ones. Laminate. Yes, you could. You could totally laminate them as well. Yeah, the only thing about laminating is that will add more bulk, right? That would for sure add more bulk. And just while we're on this tangent, there's one more thing that you could do, just one more idea. And let me just find an example of this here. I think I have this over here. Let's see. So this is an example. Let me see. Oh, here. Where you could create a pocket folder. All right, so this was from a class that I put together, a kit in a class I taught maybe last year. That is one 12 by 12 piece of paper that you basically just cut and score and fold up. So that ends up being the size of your traveler's notebook, the height, and then you have those pockets. So if you do something like that, room for lots of pockets there, lots of receipts or additional photos or memorabilia or what have you, but it's not adding bulk to your insert itself. It's just more something that you would add to one of your elastics because that just slid right through the elastic. Will the laminator cause the receipt to turn black? So here's an interesting thought about that. If you laminate and it is a receipt or an airline ticket or something that has been printed on thermal paper, I'm not sure what that would do. You know what I would do? I would probably take a grocery store receipt and test it and see what happens. Just test it to see what happens. Or use a receipt that you don't care about, right? Oh, geez, I love that. Joe, I was going to say, I thought that you had probably taken that class. All right, friends, so let's dive in. I have papers out and the die cuts out from the fall holiday season pass. And I have a list of giveaways for today, friends. So let's talk about the first one right off the bat. That is the paper pack from the season, the fall holiday season pass. So basically it's all of the 12 by 12 papers in that paper pack. And so the way that we do giveaways, this is a live giveaway, and that takes place in the chat. All right, that takes place in the chat. So the way you participate is you start chatting away, right? Start chatting away in the chat. I am going to do a couple things here, and then I will stop, and my finger will scroll up in the chat, and wherever my finger stops, that is the person that will win the giveaway, okay? So these are papers that I have cut down. There are 12 by 12 papers in the kit, but these are papers that I have cut down from November. So as I was kind of looking at things, I have a whole bunch of different ways I can go here, right? I could go with this direction, but you know what? That's not very fun because I have all of that over here. So this guy automatically out. Backside of that is this. So that would be really pretty. That would definitely give this a different look, right? Because that would be much heavier. But I do have some of these colors, obviously kind of that gold. But I also have kind of these purples and maroons over here. So that would pull those in. I could use this guy. If I use this guy, this is now basically continuing the part of my tip in. All right, so I could do that. But I think that's too safe. I could do that. Now, I love this paper, but there's too much blue here, and I don't have any blue over here, so I will use that for something different. I have this guy, so I can incorporate pink here, but this is the back side, and I think this is what I'm going with, all right? What is going to happen is I'm going to end up covering a lot of this up, right? Because I won't write my list on here. I will end up covering some of these things, well, most of that up, all right? So, and you know what? I don't know. Well, I know, so watch. Let's look at both. Let's see, because I know Robin's saying too busy, but watch and see what happens, okay? Let's see what happens. And then maybe we'll vote. I'll let you guys decide, all right? Let me get my paper trimmer out. And I should get this second blade out of here because this keeps bugging me. So what we'll do is I'll cut both. We will see what both would look like. And then I'll have you guys start voting. And then I will, excuse me, then I will draw the winner. Our first winner of several. All right, so like I said, all the paper in Season Pass is 12 by 12. So I already cut this down to 6 by 8. But I am going to trim that to 4 3/4. So it'll be 4 3/4 by 8. So anytime I am working with a pattern paper kind of to start as my base, like that, I'm always trimming it to 4 3/4 by 8 because it just gives me a nice little white border all the way around. So we continue that. So that is one option that we're going to go with. And this is another option, 4 3/4 by 8. All right. Now, if I hadn't already done this, right? Remember, I did all this work right here back in August and then just pulled it out of my traveler's notebook now that November is over for all intents and purposes. If I was just working on this right now, I could take this and that could have been really what all of this is attaching to, right? If I wanted to be able to pull in a different pattern, I could use something like that to attach all those pieces to. Or if I wanted to pull more of the blue in, I could do that. But I've already done that. So let's now get out our white cardstock because I will be doing my list white on a piece of white cardstock. So let's take a look at that. And then we'll do a side by side and see what we like better. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was doing on this one. I think I was showing you how I do my outlining. All right, this needs to be, usually it ends up being about 3 3/4 by 7 when I do kind of my white cardstock for a base. So, ooh, Lael, I shouldn't have done that. Yep, can't do that. I cut it too short because I don't want that at the bottom. So I'll use it for something else. That's one I had already cut. Is that 7? It is, just about. All right, so now let's get our 3 3/4 by 7. And I usually do 3 3/4 by 7 because I know that will give me a little bit of that pattern border around the outside. All right. Amanda, I missed something, Amanda. All right. So here we go. There or there. All right. Let's now lay those down. So flowers or leaves. Okay. When you tell me which one you think we should go with, flowers. Okay, that's a good look at the flowers. Flowers or leaves. What's it gonna be? Okay, now we're like every other one. Leaves, flowers, flowers, leaves, flowers, leaves, flowers, leaves, flowers. Oh, it's so funny. We're kind of back and forth, right? Leaves, leaves, leaves. Leaves is too much. So this is interesting, you guys. You know where I was headed, don't you? You know I was headed with this because I was on this, and then somebody said this. So guess what I'm gonna do? Because to me, now that I see it, I don't know. I like that contrast. I really like the contrast a lot. So that's what I'm gonna do. That is what I'm going to do. The flowers win. All right. So before I continue, let me stop in the chat and now Mrs. Mean Pants, I love that. Mrs. Mean Pants said, I love the flowers, but they don't say fall to me. So guess what? We're going to work a more fall back in because we won't just leave it that way, right? We'll have more stuff going on here, which I think when we get there, it'll say fall a little bit more. We'll see. All right. So build your own adventure. I know it's like, Robert Frost, the road less I don't know, whatever. I think I just went the road less traveled with the purple, right? All right. Let me stop, scroll up in the chat, and the person that is winning the fall holiday season pass paper pack is Live Love Viola. Is it like Viola Davis? Live Love Viola. Congratulations, Live Love Viola. You are the random lucky winner of the fall holiday season pass paper pack. So, and I just said that a whole bunch of times, and now I don't remember it. Live Love Viola. Live Love Viola, right? I think that, yes. Thank you. Live Love Viola. Live Love Viola, please send an email to lailbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line of the email, please put winner paper pack. And then I will remember that. All right. Winner paper pack. And in the body of the email, please put your name and address, and the team will get your prize out to you. Normally I say in a couple days. They will be heavy into working on the orders at least for a week. So it'll be at least a week. All right. Okay. So we're going with this, and this is my left facing page. So I am rounding those left corners. Now, I need to find some ink, right? I need some ink. So let's grab our little swatch, ink swatcher here. Fossilized amber. Oh, I don't know. Maybe brushed corduroy. So I'm looking here for two different inks. One, I will ink the edges of this, and another one, I will kind of stamp my title. And I think either of these colors are going to be a little bit too much purple for me. So, or I don't know what you'd call that. Eggplant. What do they call that? Aubergine? Is that eggplant? I don't pay much attention to eggplant. I can't eat it. It lights my tongue on fire. So, let's see. I think we'll probably end up with fossilized amber. I don't know. Fossilized amber is the answer for me a lot. I love that color. Fossilized amber. So I think what I'm going to do with fossilized amber is I'm going to just ink the edges of that white cardstock. My list will be on that. So I am grabbing my little foam blending tools, and I need fossilized amber. So this is a storage solution. This is Amy's brainchild. When we started working together, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, Maybe 3 years ago. She came to me with this idea and she said, so I think there is a need in the market that I think we could fill. And that is a way to swatch and keep organized your little foam heads if you're doing any kind of, working with any kind of foam, you know, your inks and your blending tools. So basically your little storage solution is the case. We're at like 12 or so different ink brands and we can easily add any ink brand, but basically you pick the ink brand, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks in this case, and your case comes with 2 sheets. Each of those sheets holds 20. So in one case, I am holding 40 of my little ink blending tools. So this is what's kind of cool. I have all of my ink blending tools, ink little blending heads stored in those 2 things, right? So there's no cross-contamination ever because I know if I want fossilized amber, I go to fossilized amber and pull that out. Also includes 40 pre-punched circles that you can use for inking your swatching your little circles. And then it also includes 40 of your little Velcro pieces, so your little foam blenders actually stick. All right, so this is what I'm doing with that. I've got my fossilized amber Distress Oxide, my fossilized amber little foam head there. I am picking up ink in a circular motion, and I am using that to ink the edges of that white cardstock. So if you are a card maker or if you are a scrapbooker, basically what I'm doing here without all the additional bulk is matting that, right? I'm not using cardstock, colored cardstock to matte that. I'm just using ink to give it kind of that same effect. And I usually don't do a lot of matting of things in my traveler's notebook just because it does tend to add, well, obviously it adds an extra layer. It just adds some bulk. So I don't want to do the bulk. But I get that same look. And it is amazing how much it really softens that white. It just kind of helps everything to blend in a little bit. You know, it's just not so stark. All right, and I'll show you what I mean by that. If I put this one down, right, it's pretty stark. But then if I put this one down, see how it just kind of helps to kind of pull it all together? And then that will also help to pull in some of that kind of gold color that you see on this side. So it's kind of helping to pull it all together. All right, so now that we've done that, we need to make another decision. We need to, I saw a question about the white cardstock that I use. Oh, Amy added it, perfect. You can find that on the website, on my website. All right. We talk a lot about when we're stamping. There are some things that can really make a big difference when you're stamping. And paper is one of them. If you are stamping on, well, if you've ever tried to stamp on like inexpensive copy paper, you know, you can tell, right? So for me, I am always stamping on a smooth, bright white cardstock. Smooth because there's no texture in the paper. There's not like a lot of obvious fiber that my ink is setting into. And I just get a much smoother stamped impression, in my opinion, when I do that. All right, so now, I don't know, I might go back on myself. I may end up looking for a really dark color like that for what my glimmer over here. All right, so let's look into an area of my swatches that I never go. Like seriously, so rare. We're going into the purples, my friends. No, all of these are gonna be too purple for sure. So I will end up now more in the reds. Let's go to the reds because there may be something, the darker end of the reds. Nope, I don't know. Maybe let's go to the browns maybe. That is a really kind of deep, deep, deep dark purple, like in the middle of the forest purple. So what that tells me is we will not go, aged, what about, wait a minute. Did we already see aged mahogany? I think we did, didn't we? That would have come at the end here. Oh yeah, no. Rust, we may maybe more the oranges. I don't know. This could be the biggest challenge of Rusty Hinge. Ooh, no. Now, right about now is when I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm second guessing that now because now I don't know. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with that, right? So maybe, I don't know, we look for a brown. That's going to be a hard one. Victorian velvet. So Victorian velvet, almost like it's a little bit of a kind of a pinkish look to it. Let's see where I have that. Sometimes that's an unsung hero. Here's a prime example of why it's a good idea to swatch your inks. Because imagine if I did not have my ink swatched. I'd be pulling out all of my different Victorian velvet. You know what? Whoever said Virginia and Valerie, both of you. Yep, I think Victorian velvet. That may be it. Let's see what we think. Let's see. That's a hard one. That is a hard one to match or coordinate, right? Victorian velvet. All right. So that may be it. Here's another reason why it's a good idea to swatch your inks. Look at how different those two look. This one stamps much deeper than it looks on the cover, right? So you get a much better feel if you're comparing the actual ink to comparing what, it looks like on that. And that I just use my my Swatch This Ink stamp set to swatch all my inks. All right, so now, Glimmers. This list, Glimmers. So let's see what we want to do. Do we want to do... We've got a lot of different kind of titles happening over here. Let's see what this would look like. So if I do that, this is kind of giving me a little bit of a visual triangle from a title perspective, right? Or words. So we've got fall, glimmers, grateful. So we're kind of doing a little bit of a visual triangle here, right? Yeah, that needs to go up there. All right, let's see. I think we should do it. Let's do it. This guy, this Glimmers, this is Glimmers 2. I'll pull this out and then you can see. So it is a little bit more word art as opposed to like this stamp set, right? So Tiny Treasure is just what I needed, a glimmer of happiness, joy in the ordinary. This put a smile on my face. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use a combination. I know what I'm going to do now. All right, so what did I do with that stamp set? Glimmers. All right, so let's get our little stamping block here. One of the things that, in my opinion, let me just get this a little bit closer to me so I can set that. That makes a huge difference when you're stamping is if you can right size your stamping block to your stamp. It becomes much easier, right? If I only have one stamping block, it has to be the largest one, right? Because it has to, that's not even my largest one. It has to be the size of my largest stamp, right? So if my largest stamp is that size, then that's the stamping block I have to use that for everything, which will totally work. But it's a lot more difficult to manage that large stamping block when my stamp is that teeny and to try to get a nice even impression. So right size, if you can, your stamping block to your stamps. Your stamping blocks will last forever, right? So, an investment, maybe $4 or $3 or whatever it is for your different stamping blocks. But that, in my opinion, makes a huge difference. Now, you know what I think I'm just going to do something here. I am going to, I think, bring Victorian Velvet in now on that side on my inking because I think that yellow is going to stand out too much. So let's go back to this. We'll put fossilized amber away. And, oh, I know, Terry. I'm for something that I'd already started, we should be able to get through this one much faster. But you know me. I just take a while sometimes because we're chit-chatting and talking. And all right, Victorian Velvet. Got ink all over my fingers now. don't mind what that is. I think if we do that, I think that's gonna make, oh yeah, right? That's gonna blend in a little bit better. Now, what we may have to go back in, that may, one of the nice things about an oxide is that you can blend the colors together. So see what's happening here? It's kind of turning into a weird kind of orangish because of my yellow and Victorian velvet. So guess what? That one's got to go by the wayside. We can't use that. So we had cut another one of those when we were doing our comparison. Now we'll just go back in and just a straight Victorian velvet. Your inks have different properties. So Distress Oxides are a pigment-based ink. They take a little bit longer to dry, and because they take a little bit longer to dry, one of the neat things that you can do with them is blend them, right? Which we saw happening when I did Victorian Velvet over that fossilized amber. And so that is a cool effect if that's the effect that you're going for. But if that's not the effect that you're going for, that's why that happened, because it's a pigment-based ink. If you did, if you were using a dye-based ink, now you know I'm not mixed media person, so what I can tell you is your dye-based inks pretty much dry instantly, and they are not as blendable. You won't get that kind of combination of, you'll end up more with each individual color kind of standing out as opposed to them kind of blending together. All right, don't you think? Much better, right? Much better. And look how simple that was. That was just by changing, let's pretend, right? Just by changing the color. Now I'm happier with that. That yellow was just not working. It was not working, so it's fixed now. And now I'll do my little outline, and now I will stamp my title with that same color. If I was my Sharpie, oh, here we go. Amy said she's proud of me for using purple. You guys, I'm not a purple person, but sometimes, right, this looks the best. I totally agree. You guys are right. I think it just, yeah, it's a little bit more bold, so that's what I went with. Well, maybe some of you were right, because some of you thought leaves. I think they both would have looked equally as nice. All right, here's the next tip when it comes to stamping. I don't ever, and on the off chance that I do, because I get cocky, stamp on my project without testing first. You should always, always, always test, stamp before you stamp on your project. When you test stamp, you learn a lot of things. Is your stamp dirty? Does it have a cat hair on it, or a dog hair on it, or a piece of lint on it? If there's anything on your stamp, whatever is on there, your ink will not stick to it, and you'll end up with a space in your stamped image. Is your stamp on the block straight? How much pressure do you need to apply? If you apply too much pressure, your stamp is going to blur, right? If you rock your stamp, you're going to apply undue pressure at the top and bottom, and then you're going to have weird things it's going to be a little bit more blurry at the top and the bottom. But you can always figure those things out when you are test stamping, as opposed to learning that here. If you're learning it here, sometimes it's too late, because you learned that you didn't like that color, or you learned that your stamp was really dirty. All right, so I'm inking that up again. Make sure, get that nice and inked up, and I stand when I stamp. To me, that is super important part of the process. Super important. When you're sitting, you have T-Rex arms. All right, when you're sitting, you have T-Rex arms, and that one is Victorian velvet. It does, it looks like Victorian. It kind of looks like a Victorian, like, frock. All right, look at that. That was a good one. I gotta admit, that was it. You guys are smart, but that's why it's fun to craft together, right? Because you sometimes see things that I don't see, and vice versa. Stamping. When you're sitting, these are your T-Rex arms. You don't have a lot of range of motion. If you don't have range of motion, you don't have a lot of leverage. And stamping, in a lot of cases, is about range of motion and leverage. If you stand up, you have so much more leverage here than like this. So I always stamp. I always stamp. I always stand when I stamp. I always stand, period. Whenever I'm working, if I'm teaching a 6-hour class here, I am standing. I'm standing the whole time. But because that's how I've always crafted. It's very difficult for me to sit and craft. So and if you sit and craft, that's okay. But I do recommend when you are stamping to stand up. And that's something you can test, right? Sit down in your little scratch paper and stamp and stand up and see what the difference is. See how it feels. Hydration break. Thank you, friends. Hydration break is really important for all of us, okay? For all of us. All right. Now I'm going to come in with one of the little phrases on this stamp set. So with this stamp set, with Glimmers, you have these little phrases. Today I noticed, this week I noticed, this month I noticed, and they are designed to fit right in that little space right there. They're designed to nestle in there. As are these two on this stamp set, enjoying the little things and one little treasure at a time. So I decided I'm going to enjoying the little things because I have on this side some kind of script going on, and that will help to pull the script in from this side to the other side. At least that's what I'm thinking. Now, I am switching out my stamping block. This one absolutely would work, but remember, right size your stamping block to your stamp. So, other thing, I find it way easier to place your stamp straight on your work surface and then pick it up with your stamping block. That is way easier than trying to do that with your fingers, all right? Another nice thing about testing, if I can figure out the page, I just put that away. If I can figure out where I put that. Is if I'm doing kind of a double stamp, like these two are meant to work together or independently, then I can test it right there and say, do I like it? Oh, I do. Okay. Glimmers, enjoying the little things. So I get a feel for what that's going to look like together. Okay, we want to ink that up again. And when you start working with a smaller stamp like this is where it's helpful to test ahead of time. Because there's a little bit more detail on this, right? It's a little bit finer than the other one. So you'll get a feel for how much pressure you need to apply, right? If I apply undue pressure on that, let me go here, and I will stamp this twice and show you what I mean. I find that when I watch people stamp, most people think they need to stamp way harder than they do, or apply apply way more pressure than you really need to. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to press super hard. Okay? And then I'm going to come back in. And this is another thing. This is what you figure out when you're testing, right? You're like, ooh, wow, I don't like the way that looks. I pressed too hard. So look at the difference there. Do you see on that top one? It is so blurry, right? It's because I pressed too hard. When you press too hard on a stamp, especially that's fine like that, you're basically flattening out the polymer. You're flattening out that stamp material so it gets all blurry. So test away, my friends. You're not going to you're not going to regret ever testing. All right, you're never going to regret testing. I've never regretted it. All right, you want to clean off your stamps right after you use them. So much easier to get them clean. It's like your dishes from Thanksgiving. If you think that you're too tired on Thanksgiving night, you decide you're going to do the dishes in the morning, and in the morning you have petrified sweet potato casserole on the dishes, and it's way harder to get off, right? Like your stamps. If you clean them right away, they're easy. And your stamps will last you for a really, really, really long time if you take care of them. You take care of them, they will take care of you. All right, so now let's add, I think we're going to add a couple of these little glimmers. These little, well, I don't know, glimmers, I guess. All right, so again, I'm changing out my stamping block. I'm right sizing my stamping block to my stamp. That's a little guy. We'll just do that over here. All right, looks good. So I think we'll put this maybe just right there. All right. And I think we're about ready to get started. Before I say that, let's get this guy put away. And then I am going to, what am I going to do? What am I thinking? I need to bring in some more pattern over here. Something, right? Now, because Season Pass is just a little snippet of product for each kind of month in the year, I've got a good amount of, I have a good cross section of die cuts here, but I've used most of them already here. So I don't want to do another tree because that would look weird, right? We've got tree, that would just kind of be weird to me. Maybe we go that guy. Now that guy is a little bit, there's a lot going on there, right? Because there's so much happening over here. So maybe what I'd like to do is, even though I haven't used that over there, what if we just do something like this? And do a little bit of a layering like that. Oh, what about this guy? Maybe this guy comes in. Maybe we'll just do a little bit of layering like that. All right? Then that way, wait, I need to have this sitting here, even though it's going to kind of want to fall off, just so that we can kind of see what it looks like next to each other. Maybe we'd like this guy instead. I think I like that one better than this guy. All right, so that is what we're going to do. Let's move this out of the way, and I will continue working with it here. It'll be a lot easier to work with it here. I am going to pull out my highlighter tape. Highlighter tape is a reusable, repositionable tape. It is meant for highlighting like textbooks or I guess you could, magazines, Bible, anything like that. Something that you may not want to be permanent. You may later not want that passage highlighted or something, a book, right? Maybe you've got a book that you borrowed from your friend and you want to be able to highlight it, but she probably doesn't want it back with your pink highlighter all over it. So that's what tip and tape, that's what highlighter tape is for. So, but what we use it for here is I had 3 separate die cuts. And sometimes it takes a while to get your die cuts placed the way you like them. And then what do you have to do? You have to pick each of them back up individually and then glue them down individually. And I don't know about you, but I can never get them positioned the way that I like them in the first place. So highlighter tape is basically a really easy way for me to connect all the pieces together. In this case, I turned 3-piece into 1, and way easier this way. Now to position that. I have done 3 pieces there. They say, whoever they is, if you believe they, that if you are clustering things, that it's more visually pleasing to do odd numbers than evens. All right, so we have 3 pieces there. I have 3, or not 3, well, I kind of have 3 different colors, right? I have that flower, I have the gold, and then kind of the orange in the center. And I have different shapes, right? That is a different shape than those 2. So if sometimes you struggle with thinking, if sometimes you struggle with, doing clusters like that or layering pieces, if you think in odds versus evens, think different sizes, different colors, different shapes, and that tends to give you a result that is visually pleasing. There we go. All right, we had to get all that figured out before I can really start my list, right? All right, so I think I'm going to be in a good spot there. So now I need a bullet. A bullet, this for me is going to be a run-on list. So this is not a run-on list, right? That's a numbered list. A run-on list would be something like this, where I am just bullet and then write and then bullet and then write. I'm just one big long run-on process there. So if I'm doing a run-on like that, I need to have something, a bullet in this case, to separate each of the things on my list. So on this Glimmers stamp set, there are a number of different little sizes of your little kind of glimmer shapes, right? There are 3 different clusters, different size clusters, and then you have 3 different singles. So I'm going to use that little tiny guy for my, sorry. I'm going to use that little tiny guy for my bullet. But before I do that, I didn't put the last bullet I used away. So let me do that. That is a do as I say, not as I do. That's shocking that that is even still there. Your little bullet stamps sometimes are so teeny that if you do not put them away, you will lose them. Here's an example. No stamp, no stamp, no stamp. That's why I have multiples in my little set here. Just me. This is my set. So put your things away right after you use them, and then you won't have to buy another set because you lost one like I did. All right, right size your stamping block to your stamp, right? This is the teeniest, tiniest little stamp. Even if I used this guy, speaking of, I need to put this guy away. We might use him still. Even if I used this, it would work, but it's too big. For me, that stamping block is too big. I don't have as much control. This is Stamping Stylus, and all of the stamping blocks I've shown you are on my website, but this is one of my stamps, or one of my blocks. That one is too. I think everything but one is what I've used today. The Stamping Stylus, hang on, I just am licking the back of that stamp. Licking the back of that stamp, I could also use this like that. All right, cleaning the back of that off, because sometimes your stamps don't want to stick to your stamping block anymore. And that's because the back of your stamp is dirty. A little bit of lint or dust, right? That tends to happen. I won't say it happens more with your smaller stamps, but because your smaller stamps have such a small surface area that if you get a little bit of lint on there, it doesn't want to stick. So clean it off with your wet paper towel or your stamp chamois, or lick your finger and just clean the back of it. So putting that on the end of my stamping stylus. This now is a very easy, manageable stamp to use because I have a really long stamping block, right? Look how easy. I could just do that all day long. Now, one thing on this little stamping block, the stamping stylus, there is a label. That label is there for a reason. That label can give you orientation for the placement for your bullet stamp, all right? So this one definitely has an orientation to it, right? There's a top, it's like a north, south, east, and west. And if I go like that, it's going to look totally different. So what I would like to do for my bullets, I would like them all to be facing the same direction. So if I'm paying attention to where the squirrel is on the label to where that stamp is, then I can't see the bottom of that, right? When I stamp, it's too small. But I can see where the squirrel is. So if I'm paying attention to where the squirrel is, I'll have the same position of that every time. All right, so I think we're just gonna do a little separator here. I feel like we need just a little bit of a separator line before we start our writing. And we're gonna do 2. Oopsie. All right, now we're ready. So the things on my Glimmers list. Do you do Glimmers? Do you do a Glimmers list? Do you pay attention to Glimmers? Maybe you pay attention to Glimmers and you notice Glimmers, but you don't really do a list. Here's an example. Sometimes we feel like that we have to have something very prolific on our, I was up at sunset and I saw the sun cresting over the mountains and the blah, 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 blah. No. You know what the first thing is on my Glimmers list? I went to the dentist and the dentist had new chairs in the reception area. That was a glimmer. You know why? That dentist has had the same freaking chairs in the reception area for as long as I've gone to him, for about 30 years. And they were a little threadbare. And so I said to the receptionist, oh my gosh, you got new chairs. And she goes, yeah, everyone seems to be saying that. So that was a glimmer, right? It put a smile on my face. I walked in, I'm like, there's new chairs, right? You guys, doesn't have to be a big thing, right? So we're all different people, and there are different things that are going to give us spark of joy. Something that gives me a spark of joy, like new chairs at the dentist, might not even hit your radar, right? So that's the first thing on my list. New chairs at the dentist office. New chairs, I should say, in the reception area. And my dentist is Dr. Haslam, so I'll say Dr. Haslam's office. Right? They don't have to be big, and that's the whole point of a glimmer. They're just as little sparks of joy, right? They put a little smile on your face, or they make you go, oh, okay, that's cool. The next thing, Nick and I went on a walk Thanksgiving morning, and there were 2 glimmers from that. So, the first one is walking on Thanksgiving morning, and no one was out. It was so peaceful. And Nick and I both noticed that. We're both like, wow, this is bizarre, but it was just like so peaceful because, you know, sometimes a day like Thanksgiving is kind of crazy. There's a lot going on. Maybe you're together with family or friends and there's cooking in the kitchen and people are watching football, or there's a lot of noise. We went over to my sister-in-law's and I think there were 25 of us there. So it was a lot. So to have that nice and peace and quiet was just a nice little glimmer. Another glimmer, we saw not one, not 2, but 3 squirrels on that walk. 3 squirrels. And we weren't in the forest. Spotting 3, and they weren't together either. That was just fun. 3 squirrels. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. All right. Next up, we have, now, remember I said you didn't have to be prolific and all that. Although earlier this week, there was we were up early one day this week and saw the most beautiful cotton candy sunrise. So if you've never heard of the term glimmers before, now that I have put a couple on my list, does that kind of give you an idea of what they're all about? Just these nice little things that give you a little spark of joy, right? Just a little spark of joy. Now, sometimes we talk about we can be on the receiving end of a glimmer, like these things, but other times we can be glimmers for other people. So you think about if you're at the grocery store or something and somebody says to you, that's a beautiful sweater. And you're like, you kind of look and you look behind you, like, are you talking to me? And they're like, yes. And you're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Right? That was so easy for that person to say, but think about how that made you feel. Now, sometimes I'm selfish when it comes to glimmers because I like to be the one giving those, and it makes me feel good. It gives me a glimmer to say something like that to someone and then see how they respond, right? Because it puts a smile on their face, and you just love to see somebody brighten up like that. So you can be on the giving end of a glimmer as well, giving end and receiving end. All right. I like the way you put that, Heather. Heather said, taking care of you before you care for others. What an amazing way to start a day of thanks. And Heather, that just reminded me, you had mentioned something on Vicky's Live that you had a tough week. I hope everything is okay. All right, next up. Oh, this, you guys, this was one that almost made me cry. It's gonna almost make me cry right now. Jack, our older son who lives in Washington State, and his fiance Kat are in town. And Nick had yesterday off. And we all went to breakfast. We went to a kind of a cool mall that was right across from where we went to breakfast. Actually, let me do this thing before that next one. And that was, we went to stopping at Sam Weller's bookstore in Trolley Square, and I'm browsing. Now, we didn't browse, we also purchased, and it's a small independent bookstore, really cool bookstore. I had a picture in my stories, Instagram stories yesterday from there, but that was just very cool. And you want to see me glimmer and smile, point me in the direction of a bookstore. I love books, I love bookstores. So from there, we went to the record store. I have shared that earlier this year, Nick my husband started getting really into records. We had rented a house in Oregon for our anniversary, our 30th anniversary. And we got there and they had a turntable and they had so many records and they were all from the 80s. And we were both just like, oh my gosh. And he was like a kid in a candy store. So I said, Nick, from that trip, maybe we should get a turntable and maybe we should, and so he is really, really enjoying that. So I had talked to Sam's girlfriend. Hang on, I gotta shut the door. Hi, honey. So I gotta be a little bit quiet. So Thanksgiving the night before, Sam's girlfriend said, hey, Nick's turning 60. What could I get him for his birthday? What about a record? And I said, that would be great. And she said, when? And I said, well, I have a list and I'll send them to you. Of course I have a list. It doesn't surprise you, right? I have a list. And so yesterday morning I woke up and, we're big Post Malone fans in our house. And got from his marketing emails or something saying that yesterday was record store day or something, like, celebrating independent record stores. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, he released a small run of 5,000 records. That's not a long story, but so I texted Sam. I'm like, Sam, this is it. This is the one. So he said, okay, Lena and I'll go to the record store today. And I said, all right, but we're going to go too. So let's make sure we're not there at the same time. What do you think happens? We walk into the record store and they're standing in the record store and we're all like, oh my gosh. But here we are, the six of us, and all of us. Jack, our older son, is really into music and really into records. And then Sam's girlfriend, Lena, is really into music and really into records. And Nick and I are. So here we all are. And I got the cutest picture of the four of them standing in the record store. And that is what almost made me cry. It was so fun. Hi.
Sam's girlfriend's got great taste in music, everybody.
She does, huh?
She does, yeah.
Hi, Jack.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How was the store?
Good.
What's good?
Yeah, we found everything we needed.
Oh, good.
Weird. We were at Smith's. We found all the weird stuff we needed, but none of the regular produce stuff. So it was very strange.
That's bizarre. So you had to go to two stores.
It was fine.
Okay, cool.
So.
Cool.
Hello, everybody. Have fun.
You want to say hi?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to flip the camera really quick. All right? Because Jack's here. He'll say hi to you. I'll just hold it. Hi.
Oh, there's a delay, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, there's you think you have Reggie hair on you. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if they can see you because you're so tall. You might be. There you go. Hello. You might be. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. Cut off your head a little bit. All right, friends. Okay. Oh. Okay. Now I gotta do this again.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No. Okay. Nope. Sorry, friends. So sorry. That's that muscle memory. Muscle memory when you're used to twisting and turning. I totally got that wrong. There we go. All right. Fun to see him. Okay. So, oh, hold on, Heather. Heather. Oh, so it's not that. So it's, that's Jack, Heather. That's not, so Jack, it's Nick's birthday. All right, Heather, hold on. I think you just said something. Heather, I miss this. Oh, family. Oh, okay, right. Second year without your mom. Oh, that's so hard. I'm so sorry. And the sibs are stomping on all your nerves. This year I chose peace and didn't host Thanksgiving. You know what? Good for you. Sometimes we have to do that, right? You got to take care of yourself. Absolutely. I'm so sorry. It's tough, right? That is just tough. But good for you. Good for you. All right. Anyhow, so that was a glimmer. Running into Sam and Lena. Oopsie, gosh, can I write? At Randy's Records. And getting a pic of them with Jack and Kat together. Now, of course, we were all together on Thanksgiving, and but you know, it was just in a cool environment at the record store, and yeah, so that was a good one. That was a good glimmer. At the record store, finding a Frank Sinatra Christmas album. Nick and I listened to that a little bit last night. I think last night. Yeah, that's fun. I love Frank Sinatra, and Frank Sinatra Christmas is just classic. So that was a fun glimmer. Well, I found it, but I also bought it. Right. Here's another one. We were playing. You guys know the game Left, Right, Center? Playing left, right, center at Lisa's, that's Nick's sister, and watching my other sister-in-law, one of my others, Maria's boyfriends, lots of apostrophes here, kids getting so excited as they rolled. It's a dice game, and Nick's mom brought seven $1 bills for all 25 of us or whatever, and you play this dice game with $1 bills. And these kids, I tell you what, and I don't even know, the boy was maybe 10. Just seeing the excitement on his face when he rolled what he wanted, or just getting so excited, and that was just a fun glimmer, right? All right, another one. While Jack and Kat have been here, we've been watching Amazing Race. And we used to watch Amazing Race when the kids were little, and I haven't watched Amazing Race in years, and that was just kind of a nice little spark of joy. Watching Amazing Race. All right, so I mean, I could go all the way down to the bottom, but I feel like I want to put something, I'll put something down here. So let's see, these are all, I think, going to be a little bit too big. So what if we do this? Let's go back to Glimmers, and let's do one of our word strips. Stop, look, listen, see the beauty, the small things. That works. Enjoy the little things, and I'll put the small things here. And then that list will be done. All right. I think we are ready for, is that too big? Nope, too small. All right, again, right sizing. So much easier. Okay. And then this guy will go right here. And then I'm going to actually make it be a little bit right justified. Like that, because I think I'm going to put another little trio, maybe not a trio. I think that trio of glimmers is going to be a little bit too large. So we'll make our own trio with that little tiny one. Oopsie, and then it will be ready. Then my list will be ready to go. Here, let's do 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Those are my glimmers. And again, if it's not something that you are familiar with, or maybe you're familiar with it because we do it once a month, but you've never really practiced it. I always say, you know what? I don't know about you, but I've never said, gosh, I wish I didn't have more joy in my life. Gosh, I wish I didn't see something today that made me smile, right? It's just one of those things, especially when we talk about mental health and taking care of ourselves. That's a really easy, it is a really easy thing to do. But you know what? It's this kind of thing. You got to look for them. And the more that you look for them, the more that you see them. There is on the blog post on my website at lailbymail.com for today's listing session. And today is the 29th of November, 2025. There is a link to an article, a very fascinating article where a woman really dives into kind of mental health aspects of Glimmers. And excuse me, right after my friend Sherry told me about it, I started researching it and read that article, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good thing. Glimmers, definitely a good thing. All right, so we're gonna get those put away, and I am going to now add that back into my insert right here. So this list does not have any photos. Sometimes my lists do, sometimes my lists don't. I'd say more often than not, my Glimmers have a lot to do with nature. And so a lot of times my Glimmers lists do have photos because it would have maybe, well, it could have been for sure. I could have had a photo of that sunrise that I mentioned. Or I could have had the photo of the kids at the record store together. Adults, you know what I mean, kids, adults, whatever. But this one, no photos. So I would like to date this, and I didn't really leave myself room for a date over here. So I'm just going to do this over here. November 2025. Okay? Now, I still have this, right? So probably what I will do, and I will not do this today because I did not think about it until just now. I think what I will do is, you know, something else I just realized. I'll show you in one sec. I'm just outlining this. I think I am going to come back later and I'm going to add photos to the site. And it might just be a photo of just the kids at the record store. Now this right here, look, it's the little details. That is one of the 3x4 cards. That is part of the November portion of Season Pass. Now what I put there, it's the little details. Enjoying the little things, the small things. That's interesting how that all worked out. I did not plan that. This guy, I had a little word strip sticker that said, I love fall most of all. Now that doesn't, I mean, it could work, right? But I have other word strip stickers from, these are the Fall Holiday Season Pass word strip stickers. I could do, probably this one, I am blessed. That's probably the one that will work the best there. What I need to do though is pull this guy off. Let's see if I can pull that guy off without making a big mess. And then we'll be ready to move on to the next one. Let's see. So I'm going to wait on that. I need to spend a minute on that one. And you know what? If I can't make it work, you know what I can do? What if I did this? Oh, no, that's not good. That was way wrong. Way too much. It didn't work there. But you know what? Look, let's just do this. Let's put this right here. I am blessed. And then we're just going to put this little guy right there. So it will kind of cover up the rest of that sticker. We're not going to mess with trying to take it off. Because it worked for I Love Fall Most of All when it was my slipcover for my Traveler's Notebook insert. But now, kind of not so much with my list or my Glimmers. Yeah, let me see that way. All right, first list done. All right, I am going to clean up. I'm going to clean these things up. And while I clean up, let's talk about the next giveaway. Because as soon as I'm done cleaning up, I will do the next giveaway. Reggie wants out. Hang on, let me let him out. Okay. So, Our next giveaway is, one of the products that you will see on the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, Women-Led Wednesday, the sale that's happening right now, is a Traveler's Notebook Starter Kit. So this is the next giveaway, my friends, Traveler's Notebook Starter Kit. And what it includes, this is one of, I think, one of 6 covers. I think one of 6 Traveler's Notebook covers. So this part you pick, and you'll see the 6 options on there. And then it includes the monthly calendar insert. That's one of my new inserts. Monthly calendar insert. So this is your monthly calendar for your Traveler's Notebook. It includes a set of my lined inserts. It includes, this guy is a zipper storage pouch. So it, excuse me, all of these things slide right into your elastic, or through your elastics in your Traveler's Notebook. So let's pretend, pardon me, like this one. So this guy is a little zipper here. You can put, you could use your Traveler's Notebook as a wallet. So you could put money, coins, whatever in there. You could put your ephemera and things in there, things that you're crafting with. You could put business cards or credit cards on this side, or you could put more ephemera and stickers, and then you have that whole side pouch. So this just goes right there through your elastic like that. Joe Disney fan, if you're still here, that you could do receipts in too. And then it includes in this little starter kit also a Carpe Diem number sticker tablet. So this one has 2,149 stickers, all numbers, different colors, different sizes, different shapes. All right, so that's the next prize. That's a big one. That is a big one. I don't know. I think those are on sale for $39 or $40 or something like that. So I'm going to pick the things up. That live chat, the way you participate in a live chat, or excuse me, that's a live giveaway. Gosh, sorry about that. The way that you participate in a live giveaway is via the chat. So chat away in the chat. I'm going to get these things put away. I'll say what our next list is, and then I'll do that giveaway. Because our next 2 lists, one is holiday, one doesn't have to be holiday. All right, putting that into all that, I just store right there in my little craft storage pouch. So all those pieces are together. Okay, next up. Oh, you guys should have seen it. Yesterday, FedEx pulls up, and FedEx is sitting in front of our house for quite a while. And Nick goes to see, and he goes, Lael, you need to come to the front door. And I go to the front door. My latest order of craft storage pouches arrived. I only ordered 2 of the sizes because I was fine on the other 2 sizes. You guys, 15 boxes. Like, I don't know, there's probably 16 by 16 by 16. And they each probably weighed, I don't know, 50 pounds. So, craft storage pouches, we were almost out of the 14 by 14s with the little kangaroo pouch, but they're back. Anyhow, our next list. This next list that we're going to do is things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. This is one of those lists, and Glimmers is also, that is a great starting point. If you want to start listing and you don't know where to start. When it comes to listing, there's no starting and stopping point. I mean, it doesn't matter where you start. People sometimes say, I don't know where to start. I have to start chronologically, or I have to start at a new year. That's not how I started. I just started listing. So things I'm looking forward to is a great list to start with. We do that one, I think, 6 times a year. Things I'm looking forward to next year or this year. Things I'm looking forward to this spring, summer, winter, fall, and Christmas. So that's our first list. This is going to be another 2-page list. And I'm very excited because this is the first time on one of our Saturday listing sessions that we are using my Dear December collection. All right. Virginia said, this is for me. I don't know how to start. Things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. And here's the other thing. Maybe you're not looking forward to anything this Christmas. And you know what? That's okay. Oh, and you know what? Deborah also threw another one out there. Hanukkah. Things I'm looking forward to this Hanukkah. Things I'm looking forward to this winter. It could just be things I'm looking forward to. Okay? So if Christmas is a hard time for you, just know you're not alone. Christmas is not an easy time for everyone. So it's really important to me when we're listing that I always try to give you some maybe alternates and a way you could take one of our listing topics to make it work for you. So maybe it's just things I'm looking forward to. Maybe it's something like this list that we did a couple of weeks ago. And it is, oh, there's things I'm looking forward to this fall, right? But it could be shows that you're looking forward to this fall or this winter, right? Like the Diplomat, Nobody Wants This, The Morning Show, Tulsa Kings, Mayor of Kingstown, Palm Royale, Landman Tracker, a lot, right? So, or maybe new books that you're looking forward to. Maybe it's books that you're looking forward to reading. Maybe not even new books. So there are a lot of ways to take something like things I'm looking forward to this Christmas and make it work for you. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, maybe the first thing I am going to do is to draw the winner, right? I need to do that. So that is for that Traveler's Notebook Starter Kit. And it is that, my floral garden. That's one of my covers. So it's that one. All right. Stop. Scroll. Denise Dufresne. Hello, Denise, my friend. Denise Dufresne. You are the winner of that starter kit. Denise, I know you will use that starter kit because I know you are a Traveler's Notebook junkie. Denise, please shoot me an email, lailbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put winner starter kit, and we'll get that shipped off to you. All right? Congratulations, Denise. And if you didn't win and you're like, oh, I really like that. I think that Amy, I'm sure you already did, but will you pop that, will you just pop a link again to the Black Friday sale? Because those are right on the first page, so they'll be easy to see. All right, our second list. As I mentioned, I'll be using products from my Dear December collection. So I have all of them here in my 14 by 14 storage pouch, right? What I'm going to start with, though, is not something that's necessarily part of the collection. It's something that my graphic designer did back in August, right before we were getting ready to release it. And they are cut files. So I am going to take one of these cut files and create a tip-in. So basically, again, this was a tip-in, but I had already done it. So let's see. Denise, did you have a question, Denise? I missed if Denise had a question or someone had a question. I missed it. Denise, if you had a question, whoever asked the question, will you ask it again? Will I ever sell the paper separately? Denise, yes. In fact, oh wait, do you mean on Dear December? When I say separately, this is what I mean. I don't necessarily sell to scrapbook stores, right? I have some friends that have stores that carry my products, but I don't, primarily all my products are sold on my website. I do not open stock any paper. And what I mean by that is I don't sell paper by the single sheet. That is a logistics nightmare. Because the way I buy my paper for my collections is I sell them in the packs. So either one of each paper in the collection or two of each paper. So if I open stock it, it just becomes, takes a lot of space to do. And it also, then you end up with more of some papers left over and not others. So I don't do any open stock. I do sell the season pass papers. You can just get just the season pass papers and not the full season pass. Or you can get all of the Dear December papers, but I don't open stock them. It's just too hard. Just too hard for my little small business. All right, so The first thing I'm going to start out here is a tip in. And I'm going to tip in with with one of the cut files. So these are products that are not available. You are purchasing a download, and the download has 5 cut files. There are 2 options. One is a 6x8 size and one is a traveler's notebook size. So in order to do these, you get the file for it, but you need to have a Silhouette or a Cricut or a Brother Scan, a machine like that where you can cut the digital files out. So these are, and I think there's only 4 here for some reason. These are the traveler's notebook size, and I have just printed them in black because they're really easy to see, and I am going to use black on my list. So the digital file, you bring it into your software for your machine, and then you cut it. So I'm going to use this one that says ho, ho, ho. Those are the traveler's notebook size, but there's one more. I'll show you the 6x8 size. 6x8 size we also did because these I will be using in my December document, in my December daily. So there's a 2025, which I also cut because I wanted to see what it would look like, in 2 different pieces of acetate. There's a ho, 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 similar to this one, but larger for a larger 6x8. There is a joy, so that joy is similar to the traveler's notebook size, it's just a little bit bigger. There is a star. Oh, this was the other one. There's one similar to this for that traveler's notebook size. All right, so I am going to use this guy. And because I am working, if I was doing this in my 6x8 album, I would just punch holes there and put it in my rings. That would be easy to add to my album. But I can't necessarily do that in my traveler's notebook insert, right? Because it's hard to get a page in. But I'm going to create a tip in. So this is just going to tip in as a little page right here in the center of my traveler's notebook. And I am using this to do it, tip in tape. And that is what I used to do this. As you can see, it is clear. You don't even see it. You can't even tell that that's what I used to tip that piece into the center of my spread. So I sell this on the website, Tip and Tape. It's not my invention, it's someone else's, but it's pretty fabulous. So as we look at that, it is a matte, clear PET tape or PET tape. If you can see, there's a line in the center of that. See that line in the center? Your release paper is split. So when I am working with something that I want to tip in, like that piece, which, what the heck did I just, oh, it's here. I like to, and this is just my preference, you don't have to do it this way. I like to cut my tip and tape to be the length of whatever I am tipping in. All right, so that's the first thing. And I like to do 2 of those because I like to do one on the front and one on the back. Then it's nice and secure. You don't have to do that. You can make them shorter. You can only do it on one side if you want, but that's what I prefer. So that's what I'm doing. All right. So that release paper is split. The release paper is what makes it so it's not sticky until you're ready for it to be sticky. So I'm going to pull off one side of the release paper, the backing, right? Like that. And I am going to lay this down on, excuse me, lay this down on the piece that I want to tip in. Whoopsie. All right, now that wasn't very good. I am not even there at all. And because this is black cardstock, I tried to pull it up a little bit and it was going to pull the paper. So it's okay that it's not even because it's clear, right? So I am sticky on this side, but this side is not sticky yet because I have not revealed the release paper. So now what I want to do, I'm just going to fold this over just so it's kind of easy for me to know where to split it. There's the other side of that split or that release paper that I'm pulling off. And I come to the center of my spread here. And I'm going to tip it right into that center. Like that. It's pretty forgiving. It's not really straight, but it's okay. I did that pretty quick. Now, I'm not really worried right now what that's going to look like over here. You can see it a little bit more over here because I will be putting a piece of pattern paper on top of that. All right. So there's one side, and then I'd come back, and I like to do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to, but I like to. Ashley brings up a good point. She just questioned everyone in the group. Carrie, yes, there are, Lauren Phelps, she did just release two patterned tip-in tapes. I will reach out to her. Obviously, I buy mine from her that I sell to you guys. So I will reach out to her and see if she's ready to offer those for me to sell wholesale. I'll do that today, and I'll let you know. I may not hear from her today because I think today she's doing, Black Friday sales like everybody else. So, but I will find out. And if I can, I'll bring them in. All right. And if not, shoot me an email and if not, shoot me an email and I'll tell you where you can get them. All right. So now, there we go. Let's see. It does get a little bit challenging when you start to get to the end of your insert. All right, so I'm kind of at the very end of my insert here today. My gosh, Lael. It also, excuse me, it also gets challenging if you don't pull off the release paper. I'm like, why is that not sticking? It's wanting to pull back up. Yeah, you got to pull off the release paper. My blonde is showing. All right, now it'll stick. Now it will stick. There we go. Again, I did that pretty quick, but I'm going to end up covering it up. All right, so that's how I can tip something in, add an extra page into my Traveler's Notebook. You can do that with pattern paper. You can do it with something like that. You can do that with postcards. You can do it with photos. You can pretty much do it with anything. But I just did it with that little ho, ho, ho. So now, this is a 2-page list. Again, this is things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. So now let's pull out our paper from Dear December. Before I do that, I need to look there are 4 different die cut packs. You have die cut words, you have die cut numbers, you have die cut icons, and you have die cut titles. All right, so lots of different die cuts. What I would like is, oh my goodness, sorry about that. We all went on our heads for a minute. I didn't even realize that. I must have hit the camera. So I am looking for a Santa, right? Because that says ho, ho, ho. I want to add Santa. So I know in the die cut icons, there are a couple of different Santas. So let's get those out. There are a number of projects on the website with any of the Dear December products in my collection. So there's projects. You can kind of get some ideas. You guys, I have so many projects the design team that has done that I haven't started showing yet. Because it's been too early, right? We haven't really been ready to start maybe doing some December things or holiday things or Christmas things until now. So you'll start to see, like I said, there are some, but you'll start to see loads more because now I just need to add them. All right, so these are the die cut icons. I might have multiples in here because I've worked with this collection quite a bit, and sometimes when I clean up, I just put everything back in the same bag. There's a Santa. Ooh, I think we're going to use a reindeer on the other page. I'm looking for another Santa now. Come on, Santa, there's some trees. Now, it's possible in this pack that I could have already used the Santa. There's Reggie in a car. Oh, here he is. Oh, there they are. Okay. Santas, reindeer, and maybe a tree or 2. No, I think just 1 tree. All right. Okay, let's put that off to the side for a minute. I wanted to decide what is going to happen here before I pick the paper. So what I was thinking would be fun is he could just kind of sit right there. Wouldn't that be fun? So I think he's it. I don't even think we should ask ourselves if that's the right one. I think we're just going to do that. So I need to, rather than putting my adhesive on him, I'm going to put my adhesive here. And he's pretty much going to cover up that little guy. We know it says ho, 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 right? If there was only one ho, oh gosh, that sounds weird. Oh, never mind. I won't say that anymore. I was going to say if there was only one ho, yeah. That just sounds a little odd, doesn't it? But strategically, we only want to put adhesive on the parts where he is, right? We don't want to have adhesive. Well, we only want adhesive where they meet. How about that? Does that make sense? We only want adhesive where they meet. All right, cute. No, look at him. He just hangs right off the edge there. So now we've got the back side of him. So we really should do something with Santa's backside. We don't want Santa's backside to be, we don't want naked backside of Santa in our project, right? We don't want to do that. Santa needs to be modest. We can't have him naked back there. So what if we did something like this? That's a cute little present. Maybe we need a present that's a little bit taller. Ooh, what about this guy? What if this guy is on the back side? Right there. There we go. Now on the back side, it actually works because on the back side it says, oh, oh, oh. Heather, have we had the conversation before that you have a Poe? Did you know that our last cat was named Poe? That is interesting. Little tuxedos. Well, I shouldn't say little tuxedos. Reggie is a big tuxedo. Reggie is not fat. Then I joke that he's big boned, but he's not really. Well, he is big boned, but not like we, you know. He weighs 14 and a half pounds, but he is tall. He's a tall kitty. He's a tall drink of water. All right, there we go. There's our little Santa hanging off the back of our ho-ho-ho. All right, let's get these. We know we need our trees. We might end up with a couple. No, maybe we'll end up with a reindeer and a tree over there. Like that on this side. Okay, now let's figure out our pattern paper. Pattern paper base. That's always a good one. We'll need to cut it this way. Like that. Now, what I need to also figure out is what's happening on this side, right? Because I am only, I think, going to do my list on this side. So if I only do my list on this side, what's going to happen over there? I better figure that out before we get too far in. So let me look at some of the cut aparts in here. Those are all too big. Where? I have multiple packs here. So there are 12 papers in the, there we go. There are 12 papers in the, no, 16? 16? Gosh, Lil, I don't remember. All right, what if we do this? There are 14 double-sided 12 by 12 papers in the collection. So I've got some duplicates in here. So what I just had, oh yes, this. What if I put a 3 by 4 card over here? Which one would it be? This guy? It could be Jolly. No. Maybe it's Merry Everything and Happy Always. I think I'd like that. So we need our trimmer out. Holy cow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Oopsie. Ashley, I think I just remember Ashley asked a question. I think she posed a question to everyone that is watching. And she said, does anyone else totally plan out the things that are going to be on their lists before? I think that's what she said, something to that effect, right? And I do, I have to. Could you imagine if I didn't plan out what I was writing on my list, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, let me think about that. What am I looking forward to? I have to plan all that ahead of time. Otherwise, it'd be like triple the amount of time that we take, right? Okay, so what I do though, you probably saw me use this today. This is what I use to plan all of our sessions. My Listing with Lael workbook. You can see, here's my little sketch. There's Santa. All right, I know, Terry, that's, thank you for continuing to keep me posted on our time because, yeah. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like that there. But what if I did this? Maybe because there's too much, what if we ended up with like this instead? What if this is here? Ooh, there we go. I like that one. That's what we're going to do. So I need to trim this too. What do we always say? I always say, I trim them to, the base is 4 3/4 by 8. Now I had already trimmed these down. I don't even know what size that is because I'd used them on another project. So I need to do, actually, let's save some. We can do 8 this way by 4 3/4. And that will be my base over here. So let's round those corners. Do that. That will go on this side. And that is also going to cover up that tip-in tape on my page, so we won't see it. But that's important, that step that I did, that I do that first if I want it to cover up my tip-in tape. I mean, it would be fine because you'd see it on the, you see it a little bit more on the insert itself on the white than you would on the pattern paper. All right, so that's that side. But I still think I like this one for this other side. Right? Yes. Okay, so this is also 4 3/4 by 8. 8 by 4 3/4. And I need to round these outside corners as well. That will go over here. All right, so it's starting to come together. Now, one thing that I know right off the bat, I think this guy is going to need to get matted on something red. On something red. So let's see what we have here. I don't know that I have something really red that is going to work. Something like that will be way too busy. I just need a solid red, right? I mean, I don't want to have to cut. I mean, I do have a red, that and that, but I don't want to waste that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is, what if there's a red plaid, but that'll be too much. All right, what if we do this? What if I pull another collection out and let's see if, where do I have Mickey's Christmas up here? Oh my gosh, you know what? I don't have any Christmas up here yet. All right, see what I need to do? Very quickly, I am going to run downstairs and grab, I need more Christmas. I need red. So I'll be right back, friends, okay? I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I grabbed all the Christmas because I don't know what will work. All right. Okay, so let's do this. Move this out of the way, like all the Christmas. So if we started with, let's start with, you know what, actually, let me look at the LE Studio. This might be our best bet. Let me get the rest of these things out of here. Looking for a red that would match, coordinate. That's pretty plain. Let's look here. This is the paper pack, the Joy paper pack. Come on, red. Yeah, that's gonna be too much. Okay, nothing there. We're gonna find something, don't worry. Don't you fret. Let's look at Vicki now. Let's see if we've got something in her mistletoe and memories. Oh, okay. I think that's it. Because all I need is just a little bit of red, right? Just a little bit of red. Oh, I can't wait to use this collection. All right, so turn it over the backside. We'll probably find it easier on the backside. There we go. That will work perfect. It's the best combination, Lael and Vicki together. All right. I'll just move that. Okay. So see how it's just a little bit too, right? But if we mat that, I think that's going to give us just what we need. Like so. Oh, we can get that out of the way. Put that away. We shouldn't need that again. All right. Yes, Denise, red cardstock would work. But guess who doesn't have cardstock? I don't use cardstock ever on anything. So I don't have cardstock. Or else, absolutely, red cardstock would work. I know that sounds weird, right? I don't. Never use red. I don't use cardstock. So I don't have a stash of cardstock. So basically, that's my cardstock, right? Now, that is going to kind of just make all the difference, right? It's just going to help it kind of pop a little bit. But we'll add something else to it because it's too plain. Merry everything and happy always. So it's just a little peekaboo. And then we are going to take one of the icon stickers. We're going to take one of these guys, the holly and the berry. And we're going to put that right there. It moved on me. All right. Now it just Christmased it up a little bit. All right. Okay, so now we're ready over here. But before we do that, I have to make my little outline here because this will. Denise, did you post Denise to Frame? Did you post in the Lael by Mail Facebook group or did you post in the Lizzie Lou Christmas Bash? Denise did something really fun with the Dear December, I think, 6x8 cut file. This guy. I think this was it. Dear December 6x8 cut file that she added to her Lael by Mail December documented mini book project kit. Denise, would you, if it was in Lizzie's Bash, will you post that or share that in the Lael by Mail Facebook group? Because it was so cool. It was so fun. All right, this guy's going to go over here. Now, let's get our white cardstock out again. Actually, you know what? We're not going to get white cardstock. On this one, we are going to use, okay, that's the back side of something. Not that one. are going to use, as I pull it out, this, the graph paper. That's 6x8 graph paper. And that's just going to add a little bit more oomph to, just going to make it a little bit more decorative, all right? As opposed to just using plain white cardstock. So we're going to trim this guy to 3 3/4 by 7, and that's just kind of my default if I'm using a, you know, some kind of background that I want that pattern to show. Okay, do a little outlining here, and you know what I'm gonna do? Maybe I won't. No, I think I better. I am going to ink the edges of this. Because white and white, right? I think if I ink the edges, it'll help pop a little bit. And you know what I have not done? I have not yet matched ink colors to this collection. I need to do that. Rustic Wilderness is kind of the darker one-ish. And I think Mowed Lawn, yeah, Mowed Lawn is too green. Mowed Lawn is definitely, at least for me, more of like a summer green as opposed to a Christmas green. So I think we're gonna go with Rustic Wilderness. Okay, do I have that out? No. We have Pine Needles, we have Rustic Wilderness. Rustic Wilderness. All right, ink the edges. So, get this guy out again. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, we didn't do a Vicky and Lael day. Vicky was on. Vicky was doing her thing last night. And I was just watching like you guys do. I don't know. I missed a whole bunch of it, you guys. I missed a whole bunch of what you were saying. So I probably shouldn't jump in a conversation when I missed part of it. I missed part of it. All right. That's a nice Christmas green. So whether you're listing or not, tell me, what are you looking forward to this Christmas? And you know what it could be? It could be watching Hallmark Christmas movies. Because sometimes my mind will not stop and I can't go to sleep. And when I wake up at 2 a.m, I never go back to sleep like last night. And I did not turn on Hallmark Christmas movies, but I probably should have, because probably would have put me right to sleep. Right? Because you know exactly what's going to happen. Big city guy meets country farm girl and they fall in love, and then the big city guy's law firm is going to close out the business that her family owns and has run for their entire life. And then they have a falling out, and then at the end, it all works. Or you flip it. It is big city female attorney goes to small town Vermont to assess the hotel that they're going to, the conglomerate is going to take over. And then she meets the man that runs it, and it's his family business, and they fall in love. And then he finds out that she's going to take away his business, and then, you know, it's all the same thing. So you could look forward to that, right? I do, right? I do. We look forward to lots of different things this time of year. And again, if you are not looking forward to Christmas, it doesn't mean you can't do this list. Ooh, yikes. I had a little bit of ink there. That's going to go down here. My work surface wasn't clean. Let's see if I can use my sand eraser to erase a little bit of that off. Get rid of a little bit of it. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. So you could turn it into things you're looking forward to next month. It could just be next month. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Christmas. It's just next month. It's something that you're looking forward to next year, like we talked about, right? So I don't ever want somebody to feel like they can't participate. I'm going to make that just a little bit more narrow. because a list topic does not, it might not fit your life, but you can certainly turn it into something that does. All right, there we go. Looking forward to a few events at church, Ashley said. Pirate went Stranger Things Part 2, dropping Christmas Day. Games. Ooh, Mrs. Mean Plants. Me too. We play Christmas games, and my in-laws are very competitive. It's hilarious. Neil Diamond movie coming out on Christmas. Let's see. Looking forward to grandkids helping to decorate the Christmas tree. Let's see. What else? What else are we looking forward to? My son turns 14 on the 12th, getting together for dinner with a group of fellow female veterans. Ashley, thank you for your service. Putting up the tree. I didn't know if I wanted to bother, but I decided against myself. I'm putting up the tree next weekend. Good for you, Heather. And guess what else? If you don't want to bother, don't bother. We have been known to put up the Christmas tree and then never decorate it, right? You can do that too, just with lights on it. Let's see, taking a break from my firsties and more time with my girls. Yes, Marilee's a first grade teacher. You will be ready for that break. Terry, first Christmas with our grandbaby, Lily. Janaea said spending time with family and all the Christmas lights. Having both girls home for Christmas this year. Amy. Sheets. Do you have different sheets on your bed? Oh, I love that. I have green gingham ruffled sheets on my bed, right? So there's a lot of things. I think that sometimes we just have to dig, right? Sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper. Like we talked about at the beginning, maybe the holidays are a hard time for you, right? And that is okay, right? That is a-okay. I don't know. What if he goes up there? Oh, he really can't go up there because my title is too big. He's going to have to go down here. Sometimes you just might have to dig a little bit deeper and think a little bit, what are you looking forward to? And that could be an exercise in, you might say, Lael, I'm not looking forward to anything. And I'd say, okay, come on, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And we might have to talk for an hour. But at the end of an hour, you are going to have a list of things that you look forward to. We just might have to pull it out of you, right? Okay, we'll put those two together. And my adhesive. And let's get our little glue pen because we need a couple of those areas that are a little bit harder to get to with our tape runner. Okay. Now, I have a start of a cluster, but for me, that is not a cluster. That's two. We talked before that clusters tend to look better if they are in odd numbers versus even numbers, right? It just looks like, I don't know, to me, it kind of looks like something missing. So for me, I'm going to say I need to add something else. I have two different sizes, right? This guy is wide, this guy is tall and skinny. Two different shapes. I have different colors there. In my opinion, I need something fairly small to go right there, right? Because I don't want to have something large. If it's something large, then it's going to get all weird. I'm not going to have enough room. So I'm going to look for we could do a heart, right? That would be easy, a heart or a star. But I think with a star, let me show you. Sometimes you just have to try things, right? I think a star is not going to work, and this is why. When I put a star down, I have a star there already, and I have black lines there already. So to me, the shape is good, the size is good, but it's not enough of a differentiator there, right? So that one's going back on the sheet. But I do think a heart will work. There are die-cut hearts and die-cut stars through all of those die-cut packs, but while I have the stickers out, I might as well use those. The nice thing, I have a couple different shapes of hearts here. I mean, not shapes, they're all hearts, but sizes. Come on, let go. We like that one? Or do we like a smaller one? And I'm going with the red because if I put a green there, I know I won't like the green because we already have the green there. It feels like we need a little bit more red. I think I need to go with the smaller one. That work? It's going to because I just put it down. All right, now I need my title. Things I'm looking forward to. Oh, yes. What am I going to do here? We'll use these, and then I'll use this other stamp, another new one on our next list. Oh yeah, this one. This is an oldie but a goodie. This one is the All the Things stamp set, all right? And it is kind of a mix and match. It's kind of a Garanimals stamp set. You remember Garanimals back when we were kids? And basically it was really easy to match everything because they made it easy to match. Actually, I should probably look up Garanimals. I think they had numbers or colors or I don't know what it was, or animals maybe, whatever it was. But it made it really easy to kind of mix and match things. So this is the Garanimals of the Lail by Mail stamp sets. Basically what you're doing is you have a couple of prompts. My favorite things about, things I'm, and things I'd like to. Let's pretend that those are the pants. Those are the bottom of the Garanimals. And you have all of these tops that you can mix with them. Things I'd like to do over. Things I'd like to remember. Things I'd like to appreciate. Things I'd like to do again. Things I'd like to forget. My favorite things about. Fall, spring, summer, winter. My favorite things about this year, last year. Things I'm looking forward to. So that's what we're going to start with. Things I'm looking forward to. Things I'm looking forward to. And then there is a this. So all of these are my handwriting. Let's grab this little guy. I'm just going to put them on here so they don't stick to something. All right. Now, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go to this year's idea book. And I am going to look at beginning and end. The chapter beginning and end. Search on page 8. I think that's what it is. No, maybe it's seasons. No, looking forward. That would make sense. Looking forward. Chapter 18. I couldn't remember where we put it. So these are all of the lists that we did in 2024, kind of with this topic. Things I'm looking forward to. Things I'm looking forward to this year. Things I'm looking forward to this winter, this spring, this summer, this fall. Things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. So the reason I pulled that out is I like to become familiar again, because it's been a little bit, I guess, on how I stagger these. Things I'm looking forward to. And then I don't have a handwritten word that says Christmas. Now, because I wrote those, I could write it in, but I don't think I'll do that. I think what I will look for is, let's go to our die cut words. Do we have a die cut word that says Christmas? Probably not, huh? But what I do have, all I want for Christmas. I do have a word strip sticker, but I think what's going to happen, I think the word strip stickers will look funny because my title will be so much bigger, right? It'll be like, little tiny baby. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I am going to go with, isn't that interesting? I don't have a word. Note to self, Amy, will you do me a favor? Will you send me an email so that next year, well, not next year because I've already started, now's the best time for me when it comes to starting to think about next year's Christmas collection. Now is the best time when I start using all the products to start kind of thinking about it. So I need to add a couple of words that say Christmas, just Christmas, to next year's collection. So I am going to come in and just cut this out with scissors that I have here somewhere. Okay, here we go. I don't think I didn't get out the, there are 3 Dear December stamp sets. I only have one out. Oh, look at this. The Dear December mini icons Christmas definition. There's always a definition. We may end up using that somewhere, but I don't think that'll really work here. All right, we're going to see what this looks like. I may not like it, so we might have to come up with a plan B. We'll see. Because, oh yeah, I need this again. What did I do with it? There's lots of cooking happening in the kitchen. I can smell it. Oh yeah, here we go. I can smell it. Okay, page 18. I'm just going to go back here for a second just so I can look at how I laid it out. Because looking forward to, if we use this, because this will look weird if I do this, like this Christmas this way. What I could do is this. I could just write this there, but I think that might look weird. Things I'm looking forward to. What if we do that? This just says things I'm looking forward to, and then this is Christmas. That's what we're gonna do, because this was just not, it's just not working for me. Like I said, I could handwrite it, but that wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair, because then if you wanted to do that, you couldn't do it, because, I mean, you could handwrite it with your own writing, but I could make it work because it would match the stamp. And it will help to cover up that little guy. That'll be good. Help to cover up my little ink splot there. There we go. All right, now we're back in business. Things I'm looking forward to can go right on here. And I think that I will, you know what, we might as well do this. We might as well use our, oh my gosh. I think we're gonna do the green again because all my writing will be black. So if we do the green, ooh, that's why we test, right? I didn't get enough ink on there. There we go. All right, so this needs to go about right here, that line. Okay, things I'm looking forward to. So now we need this guy. I think this will be the easiest one to use here. Let me get this closer to me in order to pick that up. Let's see. Oh, I missed all kinds of things. Oh, things I'm looking forward to in December, because we have a stamp in your handwriting that says December. You know what? We do. It is handwritten months. Oh my gosh. How did I not think of that? Let me just look, okay? Let me look really quickly. My back is to you for a minute. Oh, wait. Is it also on the month by month December? Dirt. Right. I have it. I could use it right there, couldn't I? I missed it, Colleen. I missed it by 1 minute. So here's the deal. Let's see, because I could use that, right? I absolutely could use that. And if you don't have this, but if you have handwritten months is just all the months handwritten by me on one stamp set. So I think it's going to be pretty close. This is a little bit larger, but really not much. And then Christmas could still be there. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Okay, that's a nice green. Rustic Wilderness. Thank you, Pam, for that suggestion. Looking forward to. And then we'll get this, which we didn't have. Well, we had, but we didn't pull it off yet. Oh, there's too many things here right now. There's too many things. What did I do with all the things stamp set? It is here. Oh, there it is. We need the word. No, I did have this. Oh. Oh, here it is. See? It picked, something else picked it up. All right. Oh, yes, that's what angel time is. Angel time is, for me, it is a number on the clock that I see all the time. And it is 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people say that angel time is someone in your life, and I think it's usually, someone that has passed away, that is their sign that they are thinking of you. And for me, it's my grandma. Anytime, and I see it an abnormal amount of time. And here's the thing, I don't know, maybe I see 258 often too, but it doesn't mean anything to me, so I don't, notice it. Who knows? But yes, that's what angel time is. All right, if this goes here, it's gonna need to kind of nestle in right there, and then we better grab December. Oh, it's going to be fine. No one's even going to know, right? No one's going to know. They're going to know. Now, this needed to come kind of right in here, I believe. Uh-oh, wait. December goes here. Yeah, that'll be fine. This. All right, now, I could have on one stamping block stamped all of that together. I don't do that. I do not do that because I like to control how close my stamps are together. And even if you use like a stamping platform, like a Misty, you can't control how close your stamps are together if you are stamping them all on the same stamping block, because all of your stamps have a little perimeter around them, that kind of little buffer. They've got the material, right? The polymer in this case. And so for me, I can't get my stamps as close together as I would like if I put them all in the same stamping block and stamp them all at once. So I stamp them all individually because I like to be in control. I'm a bit of a control freak, if you didn't know that. Just ask Nick. There we go. Pam, you're so smart. So now, you know what we just figured out there, my friends? You could do this list once a month because you pick up the things I'm looking forward to this December. If you have the month by month for each month, that would work. And if not, you also have the handwritten months. That is so smart, Pam. Isn't it funny how sometimes my back is to you for a moment? Here we go. This is handwritten months. So now all of a sudden that just made all the things stamp set like all the better, because you could do my favorite things about January, February, March, April, May, June, right? Put those two together. All righty. Now I've got, okay, this is ready to be put away, right? Yep. I think I have another giveaway planned, friends. I better look at my list. We'll just put that there. Oh yeah, we're having people over. I'm gonna have to clean this room. Let's clean this guy off. Denise's is 333. Virginia, your birthday is 5151. Oh, that's cool. Except it's a little bit harder to see that on the clock. Am I right? Ashley, you're so smart. Oh, you used about last month from last year. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right. I just need to remember to put this guy on his right one. On his correct one. All right, things I'm looking forward to this December. All right. I don't know. Well, I just went away for a minute. My whole brain just went somewhere. I don't know where it went. It was gone for a minute. I was thinking something. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, things I'm looking forward to December. Now, I pulled out the Dear December mini icons. And you know what? Can I get away with getting rid of this now? Nope, it's there. I was thinking it would be fun to, that Christmas definition right there. Oh no, it's okay, because guess what? It's too wide. It won't work there. We're good. So, but I thought what I'd do is these will be my bullets, these little mini icons. So what would I like to use? I could use I know what I want. I was going to say I could use the heart, but I already have a heart. The star would be cute, but I'd like to use this fun little star. There's a little holly, there's a little piece of greenery, but that's it. That one is it. That little kind of fun, different looking star. And that is going on the stamping stylus. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Totally forgot. I said something about a giveaway. Don't let me do that. What? Oh, okay. Yes, I do have another one on my list. It's this. As we are getting ready to start a new year, this is one of my 3 new weekly planners. So it's all the same planner. This, there's 3 different covers. All right. So this is the, I think this one's called Plan on It Months. This one is not open, but I will show you mine. My gosh, my breakfast is still sitting here. My breakfast is still sitting here. Oopsie. I forgot to eat that. My yogurt. Oh well. Okay, so inside, you start out with a spread for every month, and you'll notice, see that little design there? Same as all of the months. And then it takes you, so you have a month, and then you have notes, and then you move into week. It's just a weekly planner. But for me, this is how I plan. I put whatever the week is there. The week of, November 30th through December, whatever. Put my little numbers there. And these are all the things I got to do in the week. I don't plan by day. And if I need to plan by day, I put an M or T or W next to whatever I need to do. So, and then you have a whole little note section in the back. All right? So that's it. But that is a giveaway. That month's plan on it. So let me just do a bullet here. And we'll be ready to roll. After, I feel like I need a little separator here. We're going to do our little separator again. That's just a little visual separator to separate what we're writing. I think I'll do a double line again. So our title stands out a little bit more, especially for me, since that's my writing and now this will be my writing. I think it kind of helps. All right, so let's see who's going to win that gift. It goes to Mariana Maya. Mariana, congratulations. Mariana, you are the random lucky winner of our last live giveaway. Mariana, please send an email to lailbymail@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put winner, plan on it, planner. And then your mailing address, wherever you are residing these days. And we'll get it sent out to you. All right? Okay. Thanks for playing, friends. All right. Oh, all kinds of things. So here's the deal with the chat. When I do a giveaway, chat goes crazy. I miss everything in the chat. So if you type something in the chat that you wanted me to see, please retype that. Now that the chat is a little less crazy, and then I will be able to see it, okay? And also, here's a little gift that you could give back to me. How about thumbs up? If you haven't given the video a thumbs up yet, thumbs up. That'd be awesome. Oh, Mariana, yes, we both have the same favorite restaurant in Bucerias, Mexico. It is called Adautos, and I don't know. We figured that out years ago. We were chatting at PlannerCon, right? Hello, Scrap Out Loud. Is that Debbie? Debbie, I think, is that you? I can see your little tiny face. I think that's you. The pen thing you are using for stamping the mini stamp. Do you plan on bringing those back? I think those are still there. The stamping stylus? That guy, stamping stylus. They should not be out of stock. Amy, can you check? Amy, if you're still here, will you check and see if the stamping stylus is out of stock? And if it is, will you just throw like 50 in there? I know we have them. Shelly Lee Designs. When you go to my website, search for stamping stylus, all right? And then let me know. But I'm pretty sure they're there. All right. Things I'm looking forward to this Christmas. I am looking forward to, Debbie, I love it. I can see your little face there. One of the things I'm looking forward to this Christmas is a long weekend in New York City. You know what's so funny when I say New York City? New York City, get a rope. Does that remind you of anything? New York City, get a rope. That's from a paste pecani sauce commercial. That's scary that I know that. A long weekend in New York City, celebrating Nick's 60th birthday. Nick's my husband. The big 6-0. He turns 60 tomorrow. All right. Yes, and I have always wanted to. I've been in New York City so many times. Prior to this career, I started a software company with two other guys in the insurance sector and was on Wall Street a lot, working with different businesses. And so spent a lot of time in New York City, Broadway, did all the things, but I've never been at Christmas. So it has been on my bucket list. Two Beagles, Georgia. I love that you know that reference to Get a Rope. But no, it's been on my bucket list forever. And Nick has never been to New York City. So New York, Christmas time, the Rockettes. We're going to see the Rockettes. We'll go to Rockefeller Center, look at the tree. We'll do all the touristy things. We have tickets to a show on Broadway. So very much looking forward to that. I am looking forward to holiday smells. Holiday smells. And for me, that's especially evergreen. Right? Evergreen or Christmas, like Christmas tree smell, right? I love that. Love it, love it, love it. That's just, to me, that is Christmas. And it's interesting because Christmas smells like different things to different people. Some people, it's very cinnamony, right? Cinnamon may remind you of Christmas. For some people, it's more sweet, like sugar cookies or baking, right? But for me, holiday smells evergreen. The lights, right? All of the Christmas lights. On the tree. Whoops, I forgot to write that. On the tree. On the house. On the mantle. And on I guess the entry tables. The entry tables, I don't know, that didn't quite word correctly, but whatever. On the entry tables with my ceramic house collection. And I am a white lights only person. That's just me, right? I like white lights. I have never had, all right, some questions. So let me finish this thought. I have never had colored lights, and that's just what I like, white lights. All right, let me answer a couple questions really quickly. Scrap Out Loud said she's been too afraid of the cold in New York City at Christmas. We live in cold Utah, so, and now it is different because it's very humid in New York City, so we'll see, right? We'll see. Oh, Poison Lady. Karen, that's Karen Haynes, right? Karen, Tomorrow is your brother John's birthday. He passed when I was 7 and he was 8. I think of him a lot this time of year. That's hard. I'm sure that's so incredibly hard, Karen. But hopefully maybe you have some good memories when you think of him, right? Can you model that double pouch, please? How thick can it get? All right. The double pouch is here. All right, so it's 14 by 14. And then this is a separate pouch that sits in the front. How thick can it get? It's like, how low can you go from Greece? Let me look. Because I have one here. All right, let's see. This has, and it's not even everything in Vicky's Flower Emporium collection. So it's got a lot in there, and then it also has a lot here. So really it depends on how tall your things are, right? Because the taller they are, or more, I don't know. It can get really thick. It can get really thick. Those are a bestseller. And if you're going to buy that pouch, Lail by Mel would love it if you bought it from Lail by Mail instead of another business that recently came out with something very similar to that. Okay? Okay. Thank you. May I see your pen up close? This, Sharpie. This one it's a felt tip, so this one is just about done, right? Because it just wears out, and I press pretty hard when I write. Those you can get Office Max wherever, but I also sell them on my website. We've never done what Christmas means to me. Let's do this. Let me add this to my little workbook over here. What Xmas means to me. And that is Pirate Wench. Is that Debbie too? No. Okay. Pirate Wench, will you tell me your name, please? Thank you. Let's see. Did a felt Sharpie? Any favorite glitter pen for journaling? I will rely on someone else to pop in about glitter pens. I don't use glitter pens. And not that I don't like them, I just don't, so I don't know. The pink and the navy. Thank you guys. I appreciate that you support me. You guys know that. You support me. You guys are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you, thank you. All right. What else is on my list? My mother. It is Debbie Henderson. I thought so, Debbie. It is Debbie. Sometimes sometimes you guys, it's hard for me to remember like who's who because your names change on YouTube. Sometimes it shows one thing, sometimes it shows another. I don't know why. Yes. The Kurt Buster. Concert with Mom, my mother, and Gail. An annual tradition. Kurt Bester. If you are not familiar with Kurt Bester, he is a piano player. I'm a very talented piano player. Search for Kurt Bester Christmas. Google it, and you will be shocked how many of his pieces that you know. Beautiful, beautiful work. And he is very funny. So, he chats with the audience during the concert. So it's really fun. Yes. All right. Next up. Now, Nick and I are going to seeing the comedian Nate Bargatze. I don't know how exactly you pronounce his name. Nate Bargatze. Bargatze. I will tell you all about that next Saturday because we go on Friday. He is hilarious. He is hilarious, and he is a very clean comedian. He does not swear, and he does not tell like raunchy, sometimes you see a comedian, you're like, oh wow. Oh wow. He's wonderful, wonderful, very family friendly, and he is hilarious. He is hilarious. Another thing I'm looking forward to. Can't believe it hasn't already happened. but our first snow fall of the season. It's bizarre. We have no snow. It has not snowed yet, which for a state, now it has a little bit in the mountains, but not enough to open the ski resorts. So for a state that relies on snow for tourism, and for a state that relies on snow for our water in the summer, it's not good. It is not good. So we really need snow. We need to be doing the snow dance or something. All right. I need I know what I'll use here. I need I think this one, I can't remember. Let me find the stamp set. This one might be, if I can find it. Where is it? Oh, yes. Word Strips Holiday. This might be one of the stamp sets retiring. I don't remember. So I need a little word strip there, right? Do you see that? There's a little space there. It looks odd because it's a big old white space. I need to add something to it. What do I add? Word strip. I always say word strip sticker is the answer if it looks like something's missing. And in this case, I'm going to make my own, right? So, ho, Santa, let it snow, happy holidays, oh, what fun, 'tis the season, feeling festive. That's it. I want to use feeling festive. So, what if, do we want to do red there, you think? I don't know. Let's look. I need to write this down, though. I need to remember that the colors that coordinate. Rustic Wilderness for Dear December. Oh, yeah, this guy needs to be done. Next. That guy's a little better. All right, and let's look at the red. What do we, ooh, okay. So, red, you might think, well, Lil, red is a red is a red. Reds really change, right? Like this, now that you see that, that's more orange than a red when we look at it that way. I mean, it would be fine if that's the only red I had, it would work great, right? But I do have other reds, so let's see what works. Barn door. Oh, I think it's barn door. Candied apple. Barn door. Festive berries has a little bit too much blue in it for me. Lumberjack is also a little bit too much blue, a little bit too dark. And fired brick. All right, it is going to be, what did I say? Festive berries. Festive berries, all right. Where are you, festive berries? Here we go. Okay, festive berries. Okay. Oh, friends. What did I just do with not festive berries, feeling festive? What did I do with it? This is what happens. This is why I usually try to put a new stamp right up there when I pull it off. I shouldn't have pulled it off until I was ready. Where did it go? Can anybody see it? Anybody see it? Terry, we are seeing Death Becomes Her. Death Becomes Her. Broadway. All right, so I hate it when that happens. Can anyone see? Do you see from your viewpoint, your vantage point, what I did with, I had it sitting right there, right? Why did I do that? It stuck to something. And probably in 2034, I'll use that something again and be like, oh my gosh, there's feeling festive. Why did I take it off? Why? All right, well, I guess we're not feeling so festive anymore. Oh, there it is. Look it's on my Sharpie. It's on my Sharpie. I was just giving up. Gotta be more positive. I'm like, I guess I'm not feeling so festive. And then it turned up. All right, so now, do we think we're going to like the red? I think it needs a little red, especially when we look at it here. Oh, look how cute it is together. Isn't that fun? Okay, right here. Now, if you wanted to add photos, you certainly could. And if I was going to add photos, I would have added them to that page over here on the right side with the where the green plaid is. Oops. feeling festive. That's going to be it. We are feeling festive. There we go. All right. And guess what? We're done. That list is when we talk about time capsule listas, oh my gosh, wow. When you talk about time capsule lists, that one would change very much. I wish I was doing a list like that when our kids were little, because you know what? Thank you, Terry. Things that, I don't know, it's different with little kids, right? Isn't Christmas a totally different ball game with little kids? So if I was doing a list, no, I could still do that list. Things I remember about Christmas, things I, miss about Christmas, the things I can't wait, I can't look, things I'm looking forward to if I ever have grandkids, right? Things I can't wait about Christmas grandkids. You know what I mean? But there's a whole bunch of different ways that you could turn that list around, even if you weren't, listing when your kids were little, like I was not. All right, last thing I need to do here is adhere that page down, and then we will finish. All right, friends? We won't get to our last list today. We will start with that one first next week. So what I'm going to do here, normally I just use my tape runner all over this. But what happens when you start to get to the last couple of pages in your insert, there's so much that's happened over here. This part really tends to, it's curved, and gravity will kind of not be our friend here. This part is going to want to pop up all the time. So I want to use some really strong adhesive along this straight edge, or along the inside edge, I guess. Now, usually what I do, I'm just like, well, I might as well, while I've got it out, use it everywhere. But that is going to help that to stay secure, so it will not tend to lift up because of gravity. Now, it's unfortunate. I really wish gravity would work that way in other parts of our body, right? That it would want to lift up, right? You know what I mean. But here we're going to use our score tape so it stays down. All right, so I am just almost like with the tip-in tape. I'm only revealing part of the adhesive. Part of my release paper is still sticking down, because when it comes to double-sided tape like this, it's nice because it's really strong. That's why we use it. But it's really strong, which also means basically we only have one shot to get it down, because if it's crooked, you're not going to lift it back up. It's going to make a giant mess. It's going to rip everything. So first thing I'm going to do is rotate this. Both pieces are upside down now. I'm right-handed. It's way easier for me to do this than try to do this with my left hand, or try to do this, right? So rotate. Now, because I've only revealed a little bit of the adhesive, I have some wiggle room. I can come in here and do my best to get it straight before I ever really commit, right? Like that. I never would have been able to do that if all of my adhesive was revealed, right? I was able to do that because I had only part of that adhesive revealed. And then I just pull those little pieces out like so. And then we want to press that down so it's nice and secure. Now what's going to happen is this guy now is going to want to pop out. So let's just tape him down a little bit. Now, when I use tip-in tape here, I could have on this one, because it's black, I could have used washi. So sometimes your tip-in tape or washi can do the same thing. However, washi in a lot of cases is not really meant for that. This is really having to hold on there because it is so curved, right? Washi's not really meant to hold things, especially when gravity is wanting to, kind of make it pop up. The other thing with washi is that most of your washi is patterned. And pattern probably would have been fine here, but the pattern would have been on here and looked maybe, unless it was just a plain red or something. But a lot of times if you're trying to do something like this with a postcard or a photo, you don't want any kind of pattern from your washi on whatever it is you're trying to tip in. All right, so there we go, friends. I do need to add a date. So what if, let's see. This will wrap us up. I've just pulled out my white Posca paint pen. It is not a gel pen. It is not an ink pen. It is a paint pen. So this is ink. I mean paint, not ink. It's paint. Hello. This is paint. The difference between paint and ink. For me, especially with white, I get a much better result with paint than I do with a, oh, I just had a thought. I'm not done yet. I am going to do something here. I am going to do this. $11.25. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one last time. I need a piece of scratch paper. Do I have a piece of scratch paper? Hang on while I walk across the room to the garbage and see if there's anything that I could use for this. Yes. Sure, why not? Okay. I am going to add snow to my ho ho ho, right? I am going to mask off this. I don't want any snow anywhere here. So by putting this here, it is going to prevent snow from getting on that piece. I want snow on the ho ho ho. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, oopsie, I'm going to flick this pen. I want to get some ink, and then I'm going to do this. Look at me, I'm doing mixed media. Vicky would be so proud. Look at, all I had to do there was just flick that pen. And that ink is kind of randomly depositing in places. All right, so now, isn't that fun? But I do see, I think that I need it in a couple more places. So I need it down here a little bit. Splatter. Okay, maybe just right up here a little bit. And there's definitely a fine line between too much, which I may have crossed it, but that's okay. And probably what I will do later, I won't want to do this now. I will, when all of that's dry, later I will come in and turn the page, move this mask over here, and then do the backside as well. All right? Okay, there we go. Kind of looks like graffiti a little bit, doesn't it? Flick my Bic. Yes, I just flicked my Bic. Yes, she would be so proud of me, wouldn't she? Yep, 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 yep. All right, friends. And look at, now I have inky fingers. I have inky fingers, inky hand, and I even have a little yellow on my inky fingers. All right, I don't like inky fingers. Oh. Yep, guess what? Bad. I should have left this there because what just happened is, rookie move. So what happened is, when I took that out, I do have a little bit of white here. So I am going to have to deal with it. I'll deal with it later. I don't know what I'm going to do. But right now, while it's still wet, I will just make it worse if I try to fix it now. So stay tuned. I'll show you how I fixed it next week when we're together. All right, friends. I'm going to rotate the camera. Again, we are only able to get our 2 of the 3 lists done today. Apologies for that, but I have a hard stop. So we have kids in town and some friends coming over for dinner, celebrate Nick's birthday. So let me unplug us and flip the camera and we will say our goodbyes. Oh yeah, 2 beagles, We'll figure out something, right? That won't be hard to fix. It won't be hard to fix. You'll never even know. I may paint it with something, I don't know. Look at me, I'll just paint it. No, I won't paint it. That would not work out well. All right, friends, thank you for stepping on things. Thank you for joining me today. That was fun. You guys, I just love it so much when we get together. I have so much fun. I hope you have fun too. This is the time where I get to play. I get to experiment and play, and I don't worry about, you know, whether someone's going to buy the class. You know, sometimes when you have to design because you're, you know, putting together a project kit for a class that you're like, oh, I hope people like it. This is just play, right? You might be inspired by it, you might not. Maybe there's one little technique, maybe with a little splatter or something that I do that you're like, oh, I like that. I'd like to do something like that. So it's purely play, right? Purely play. Remember the sale on my website at laylebymail.com. That sale runs through Monday, December 1st at 11:59 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you've had a lovely one, and I hope to see you next Saturday because we are listing again next Saturday. If you are doing December documented with me or you are doing a December daily, we're just about ready to dig into that. So you will see me every day on my social media except for the days that we're in New York. You will see me posting my day. So there'll be lots of social media happening every day for me December 1st through the 25th. And then I'll take a little bit of break till the end of the year. Also on Monday, a new creative team is announced. So I hope to either see you guys next Saturday or see you around here on the YouTubes or on the socials next month, okay? And if I don't, happy holidays to you. Bye! And I gotta walk around and, you know, all this is manual still. It will change. I'm working on it, but right now it's all manual. So even though I look like I'm just fading off into the background, I still have to do all the manuals. Bye, friends! Oh, come on. I can't see it. Okay. I have to move the lights so I can get in there and hit the end button. I cannot see it. There we go. Bye-bye.